Oh look, I can convey this as a constructive criticism series without needing naughty words.
Everything is going so smoothly. Nice warm weather, progress on my creative stuff is going well, and it seems like the package fandom thing has been laid to rest. And hey, I got some friends out of it too. Speaking of that, let's check Discord. Nothing could go wrong. Oh, it seems like Blocky wants to take Box to war. I really don't know why he would do this. Why does Blocky have such a raging hate boner for no reason at all? Box stopped making videos months ago. Also, who is this Sav individual? Opportunists. So yeah, brace yourselves, critiquing just got weird. Well, that was less eventful than expected. No one has won or lost anything. But that makes me wonder, who caused all this to begin with? Wait, Julian is a bad man? That's a Sav community issue. And who is this Noah person that keeps being brought up? Wait, Carno? I thought he fucked off since 2022. How did he end up being such a gross individual? Especially since he's supposed to be a ranter himself. It makes me wonder though, with how separated the Sav fanbase is from Box's, how do they know about him?
Reminder, she's been going at the package for a long while.
Oh, that fucking snake. He just had to drag Box's crew into his shitty drama due to his lack of defensive skills. At least the video's been shredded apart. It can't get any worse, right? Wow! This is even worse. Even with none of the baggage from the last video, Carno cannot still make a functional video to save his ass. Also, at this rate, he'll suck everyone he is friends with into this massive black hole. And seeing as no proper response exists for this travesty, as of recording this, I think it's about time Carno's cancerous callout got crushed. Ha, funny alliteration. Let's do this. Sup guys, Spacey here, and what you saw in the intro was a dramatized, quick version of my first thoughts when discovering the current Carno drama. Point is with that intro, this really wasn't something anyone who was close to Box or Bracket wanted to be involved in. Since at that point when Box got involved with the Blocky video, Carno was a disgraced figure that no one wanted to talk or even interact with, given things like the Bree situation, alongside the knowledge of his server being a dumpster fire. Though now that we do have a lot of information about the drama, I think it's time to utilize it to truly take down Carno. But I'm getting really ahead of myself at this point. Let's lay down the players here and provide catch up to those who are not really in the know. So then, who is CarnoProductions? CarnoProductions, otherwise known as CarnoProductions or Carno, was an artist and deviant ranter known in several spaces like the Rainbow Cave community, or what most people know him for, being a member of Package's community before rightfully being kicked out. We will catch up with Box's community later, trust me, it's vital. He has even developed his own space in the ranting bubble, with a lot of his own exclusive members not found anywhere else. It also seems like his fanbase are the only people that like his videos, as outsiders have no idea what the hell is going on in his videos. Case in point, when Deadwing Dork reacted to Carno's Defending Myself video on stream.
It screams, I have drama as a tattoo. I got some rules to follow to the point.
I mean, I still don't understand a word he's saying, but it's just...
Yep, the first contact with the Deadwing community and Box's community was with Carno. Bleak, isn't it? Of course, even if you didn't know what the hell was going on, the videos themselves were unfocused messes with no proper points being made at all. Instead, just rambling and relying on the potential audience to just take his word on things. Also not helped by Carno's edgy user fanfiction that takes the tone away completely. It's an out-of-body experience seeing Carno curb off his likes and dislikes for real individuals in his own Carno way. This curbing even resulted in the cinematic universe being created around this niche internet drama, which truly shows how engulfed Carno was with the drama. Someday, I might cover the 233 end, seeing as that's a goldmine for godly moments, but for now, I'll just leave it here. The funniest part about his videos though is that no matter if they were my thoughts, his spiritual successor rant series, or even some other related shit, his quality has not improved one bit outside of actually editing his videos now rather than screen recording them blind. These criticisms are not new, by the way. The package fandom duology I made half a decade ago at this point, Jesus Christ, I'm getting old, touches upon the same issues, albeit not as well due to me not being as experienced in writing as I am now. So it overall shows that there was some proof in the pudding of Carno's bad rep, pre-Noah. Well then, now that we introduced Carno and how I feel about him, let's now cover the status of Box's community from 2021 to now, and how those closely tied to Box were introduced to the Noah drama. Now, this isn't going to be going into everything, as I do not know the status of, say, the Friday Night Funkin' Friendship Forever group, but anything within the orbit of Carno and Noah will be covered. Trust me, it's extremely baffling. So shortly after the first part of the Box fandom video during 2021, and then a little later in 2022, a major shit hitting the fan moment occurred when several people were kicked out for their bad behavior. The first one kicked out, and the most notable of which was Carno being kicked out on March 26, 2021. Some things he did during his time that caused his kicking were making weepy vents in the vent channel, including guilt tripping too, making embarrassing corny jokes, his own server being a mess with several sketchy people, and being extremely weird with Bree, particularly with some recordings done for the 233 end. The straw that broke the camel's back, however, was when Carno wanted to revive an old server of Bree's by spamming it with messages. It always has to come back to Bree, doesn't it? Outside of the stuff regarding weepy events and jokes and Box's and associate servers, the stuff I talked about has all been mentioned by Carno himself in the Defending Myself video made last year. It's a great sign for the target I'm talking about when they still have the same accusations lingering years later. Apparently, sometime after Carno got kicked in October 2022, Noah was mentioned in Box's server, and Carno even made a response to that back then via Google Doc, which I'm sharing right now. This was only really a footnote to the Box crew though, since Carno's biggest sphere of influence, being that group, was already cut off. There was also the fact that the drama was already really messy, with a ton of figures making rants and nothing of value being added to the conversation at the time, alongside the fact that Carno's response was essentially a nothing burger. After Carno was kicked out, during all of 2023 and the first half of 2024, it seemed like Carno was just going to become a forgotten memory, as he did nothing notable as far as everyone surrounding Box was concerned. Further reinforced when Box quit making rants in December 2023. That was until Carno made the Noah accusation snowball really hard. First, by trying to get Leo Convoy of all people to do a Cinecall in order to stop the drama. Yeah, as you can tell, that never happened. Like Lyle would even try to focus on such unmarketable niche drama. Then, after more drama related to the Rainbow Kid community of all things with Julian Marrero, which meant that someone known as Sav was on Carno's ass, and thus the infamous Defending Myself video released on June 19th, 2024. I'm not going into detail on that video here, since the video would balloon in length of this already hefty response towards the sequel to Defending Myself. But if you want to get the entire lowdown of how shit that video was, Bracket Neutron made an excellent response to Carno, which also has the least amount of baggage tied to it as well. The one notable thing that ultimately got Box adjacent people involved in the drama was that Box was glazed by Carno in that video as some sort of victim of MeatCon, another Xbox person, known for also causing a ruckus back around 2021, and being kicked shortly after Carno's kicking. Ironically, both share the same trait of leapy events, and also made a support hashtag. This gave the false impression that the Box community was somehow deeply involved with Noah, even when Box and his associates didn't know anything beyond some surface level mentions, and all Carno did was use Box as a meat shield to save his own skin. This kinda worked for a time, as it did lead to Mr. Blocky to curb off his hatred for Box in a now private rant video, but soon peace was made with him, and all attention was back on Carno. Well, kinda. The Defending Myself video still had responses being made, but Carno himself decided to retreat into the nether regions and remain gone seemingly forever. That is, until recently. Yeah, Carno decided to make a comeback to once again get revenge on Noah for what is it? The third time, maybe? There could be even more that we don't even know about, but this is the latest of the bunch, but also the absolute worst by a long shot. Carno is somehow an Olympic champion at making response videos that are somehow even worse than his previous. I cannot fathom the exercise needed to make such a massive blunder just after making a previous major blunder. Brace yourselves, we'll enter a cycle circus that will leave you feeling stupider than once you came. I'll provide any context for the Noah situation as it comes up, and now we are fully ready. Let us start covering the Dead Corpse Chan Pink Petals Bloss / Noah rant. Okay, we have some issues and we're not even at the video itself. What the hell does etc. mean in this trigger warning list? Do the Yas Queens have realistic panic attacks over the word etc.? That isn't the dumbest thing that people get triggered by though. But still. Carno, if there was anything else you had to mention, just mention it. At least if this isn't shit like food. I'm not a fan of trigger warnings, but at least they could have been done better than here. Wow, I didn't know Carno's video was a dictionary. I'm sure this won't just be a way for Carno to cover his ass later. Totally. Just a weird warning all around. I don't get why it's worded in the way it is. Seems pretentious and tryhardy. The tryhardy part is rather fitting for Carno, but this is not a good sign in the slightest. Oh yeah, there's captions. There was a suggested bracket made a while ago when covering Carno's video, and it seems like Carno took it to heart. For the purposes of this video, I'm going to be putting them up as well in their raw form, just for the convenience of the audience. One odd thing though about this video is that sometimes the captions don't match the delivery at all, and those will be pointed out as the video goes along.
Hey, yeah, I know I've been gone for like over a year, but I do want to trust in where I've been. Yes, I've been gathering a lot of evidence. I mean, all the evidence I can get on Noah is gonna be made into this video, and I have a lot of evidence.
Yes, we see a fundamental core issue with this video off the jump. Carno seems to be going off the cuff with its recordings. This is such a massive issue for a few reasons. For one thing, it makes the video really hard to follow. There are so many repeating topics and uses of that it generally becomes disorienting after a while. It also makes the video's structure very unstable too. Information that could fit better in one section of the video are just in another that doesn't fit at all. Thus the flow of the video is ruined and we don't really know why each piece of evidence is important. The fact that this call-out video, something that should be made under the expectation that people watching it don't know anything about the subject, essentially requires prior research to even comprehend what is being said, is a deep-seated fundamental flaw that would ruin any video. Safe to say, Carno's quality control truly stinks.
And another reason, I had to move 2 houses, and of course other personal stuff, so that's why I kind of had to delay this multiple times. And I wish it was how my SAP video come out last year, but I had to change it up a bit. So that's the reason why I had to delay 2 videos. But I made it this one, so it's better than nothing.
The ironic part about Carno hyping up the Sav video is that Sav will be mentioned countless times in this video, despite the video on her not even releasing. It only further dilutes the Noah video into a bigger mess. I'll mention the times where Sav is brought up, as there are some areas where it truly comes off as spiteful.
And of course, I had to do a lot of changing and re-editing to this video. Because I got like a lot more information, so that's the reason why I had to fix everything. Like, literally everything up. So, let's begin.
Yes! The perfect way to make a video is just to bolt in random voice lines and images into the video at any opportunity. Honestly, Carno, if there was a lot more information that needed to be shown, which I doubt by the way, that fundamental script changes should have happened so that the information flows better. This is just basic knowledge, but I guess Carno's dopamine required the video to be rushed out.
So much, was I supposed to make on Sony Vegas Pro 13, but it ended up acting up now going to the point I had to, well, make on DaVinci was all. So yeah, this is on DaVinci, so yeah.
Okay, fine, but why is this taking so goddamn long to get to the point? This should have been mentioned earlier. bad signs are cropping up more and more.
But I do want to stress something. Yes, I'm aware that Bag and Neutron made the video. Hands down, one of the greatest response videos I've ever seen on my garbage video. Which, yeah, I do want to apologize for the way I acted during that video. But, yeah, it is what it is. I just want to say I'm sorry.
Okay, but what are you sorry for exactly? This apology doesn't mean anything unless you actively state where you went wrong. Because as of now, this is just hollow, and a clear attempt to suck off Bracket. And seeing the community post he made on you, yeah, that didn't work out. Just save this shit for the end, it would have worked out better.
But I'm gonna skip that. A lot has happened after over a year. That means a lot has happened. Bloggy released his video responding to Bracket, and I actually did apologize to him in his DMs, and also Bracket's video, and well, the other one.
Look, I know Blocky ranted on you, but they have less stake on Noah than Sav. Noah at least joined the Sav fanbase and became an integral member, with them gathering information for Sav. Blocky just seems like someone who ranted on you like twice or so, but did nothing else major outside of a little bit of contact. A pretty useless detail if I have to say so myself.
And no, I heavily disagree. Sav's video was not better. It's honestly really bad, but let's skip that to avoid a long intro because this is about Noah.
Carno, I have reason to suspect the only reason you hate Sav's video is due to it being harsher and actually getting a testimony from Noah. I have issues with it personally, Skylar, but it's clear that all you wanted to do here was bash Sav and glaze Bracket once again, even if it had absolutely no value to the video.
And this is gonna be probably the most difficult video I have to make because I have an entire drive that I had to go through, and I went through an almost 3-hour interview, and it'll be a lot to take in. A lot of the info will be gathered.
Why are you trying to hype up evidence before you're even showing it? You're seriously not getting to the point at all. We don't even know what you have. Are we meant to be like a metal concert and cheer you on? Because if so, that's actually pretty funny. Alright, this is a serious response video.
Sav, also, I know you're watching this. Pass this to Noah. Or if you watch this, Noah, you need to properly address this. Because the amount of harm you did to my friends, like the friends of me and I, and your own ex-friends, a lot of your exes, I don't know how many exes you have, but it's a lot. You need to address them.
Carno, they are not obligated to do what you demand from them. They're their own independent human beings, and they can do what they want to do no matter what. There isn't some grand moral obligation to respond to you, given your wildly immature attitude. You're being quite the control freak here. Truly shows how desperate Carno is for a win if he wants to control how people treat his video. Also, Noah has no videos on their channel and isn't experienced with editing, nor have they written any big blog posts. If Noah ever makes a response to you, you would clown on her for poor editing and other petty things. No one ever wins when they're playing by Carno's rules.
You legit started this mess. If Sav knew about this, I'd be rightfully pissed off. If she didn't, that's gonna be probably the worst of rating for a good reason.
Oh no! Sav is in shell shock at the knowledge that you didn't even know she has seen. I mean, Sav has basically seen everything regarding the drama. She does act overdramatic, overly defensive, and hyper-empathetic even when the situation doesn't even call for it. But from what I've seen, she doesn't panic at all about new information. So that threat is out the window. Also, even if information does change opinions on Noah, that would not mean that she would become a bootlegger of yours. There are many cases where the perpetrator, accusers, and even the victims are all hated at once for their own bad behavior, even regardless of who did what. Anyone could be an A-log in a situation, and the reputation would not change even if new developments occur in a situation. You absolute buffoon.
Plus, I know you're friends with her. Not just that, I have the screen recording to prove it. Wow, look at this.
It's fucking disgusting.
Plus, I know you're friends with her, who I will talk about in the next video because most likely I had to redo it because her first video is unlisted. It's not really relevant now.
Wow, your professionalism is so uptight that you repeated the same phrase twice, like we have short-term memory. As for the points themselves, well, firstly, yeah, no shit they're friends with each other. Are you trying to be like Jigsaw from the Saw series and cause psychological damage? Well, you did succeed, in a different way. But yeah, this fact is super obvious and I don't get the hype around the fact either. This isn't some shocking revelation. The other thing I have to mention is that why are we getting a glorified advertisement for the sad video once again? It seems like you're blowing your load early here, Carno.
And of course, I know you're still active, like when you did this, loving your community tabs as well. The issue is that this was posted a long time ago when I was 17 years old and I'm 21 now. God forbid kids do stupid things because we do something called learning from our mistakes. Maybe next time look at the dates next time. I'm just saying, not kidding, being racist. It says having before and it's always not true. Unlike you, Noah, because we have something on you and we will get to that later.
Zaman, the person who's still on the internet, is active? This is some amazing intel there, Carno the dinosaur. As for the racism thing, they're not calling you racist, they're just making fun of your art for being shit. Also, not that defense. We're gonna save how bad that defense is for later into the video when it becomes more prevalent. But what I say now is that the being in the past argument only works if you've changed and can recognize the difference. And I could tell Carno has neither quality. Also, we will get to the Noah stuff later. It's been nearly 4 minutes of cock teasing us about Noah. Pick up the pace, dude.
I'm kind of the chase. I'm not gonna have a lot of fun making this video, and I'll be explaining my side of the story, not being said about me. Chapters are on the bottom, that being who she is, the roleplay I did when I was 17 at the time, and I was unaware of her age, the October to November incident, the time she reignited, the alias she has, Beatrice and Katie, the only allegations she had, Noah's sad stuff, Noah's actions in late 2024 to 2025, some of the stuff that alleged, and some stuff to make her a hypocrite, the conclusion, and the apology.
Okay, these chapter titles here are pretty odd. They're overly wordy, thus making it hard to memorize, and the transition and description chapters don't match here. Albeit they are way better than the ones presented here. It's baffling how we didn't even get the text right. Especially since this isn't something I see people fuck up at all.
That's about it. Also, there's gonna be certain stuff that's gonna be very hard for me to read. I've got a lot of screenshots, and of course that interview I had, like, you know, I pretty much got the interview on my hands. Ryan has recorded all the stuff Noah has done. It got an entire drive on made by Joseph. There are plenty of important figures. But I do want to say this, and this is me being legit as possible. Noah is a dangerous individual. She has gone away with a lot of stuff, serious stuff I might add, a lie about me, her ex, and many, many more things. I am done being silent for over a year. I think it's time for people to see what she really is. A manipulated liar and a groomer. I didn't start it by that last one. She did it. It was confirmed, and she admitted it. Alright? Let's begin.
Jesus Christ, there's a lot to take in here. For one thing, we really should have known about the players in the drama way earlier, or when the evidence would have actually been relevant. Why are we mentioning who made the drive and such at this point in the video specifically? You claim that this X was her, but this is the first mention of them in this video. That's really odd. That might prove Carno has some ego issues, given that outside of this mention, everything with Noah has been regarding Carno. Also, while the point of hyping up the Noah stuff has been beaten several times at this point, I have to love the fact that Carno has hyped her up as some sort of monster, and then literally showing a screenshot of Noah apologizing and taking accountability for what they did. I'm just gonna ignore the obvious structural issues and deep hypocrisy, those will be saved for the end of Carno's video. I just want to mention how this screenshot completely contradicts what's being said immediately before. Guys, Noah's this psychopathic monster, so here's a screenshot of her sincere apology. I couldn't even make this shit up if I tried.
As of writing this, along with recording this, she is currently 17 years old, turning 18 on November 22nd, 2025.
Not gonna lie, given that Carno has been accused of grooming, him mentioning how old Noah was going to be in 2025 is a little suspect. That's a really odd fact to open on.
Noah, also known online as Dead Corpse Chan or Pink Petal Blossom, yeah, that's like emo core like era, it somehow has been online for a long amount of time. She was born November 22nd, 2007, and from the info I gathered, she first joined DeviantArt. Here's a straw page as well. Read this as well.
Who is Dead Corpse Chan? Dead Corpse Chan is a 17-year-old artist. Jacob, Tuna, Carno, Ryan, North, and the rest of your crew, if you end up seeing this, please get off my page. Mikon already showed me proof that you guys are actively talking about me, so I don't think it's off limits for you to look at shit I put on my profile.
What do you mean by that?
So she knows what we have on her. The issue is that I don't know who leaked it.
From the get-go, we go from Noah's straw page to our origins on DeviantArt, and then back to our straw page. Magnificent structure. But to the points themselves, why is Noah's DeviantArt relevant here? Is there any behavioral patterns that apply now? Do they mention you on this account? Or are they known for other alt accounts outside of Discord? This only adds to the creepy vibe when you do shit like stalking Noah's old accounts and mentioning their birthday. Also, what does that part on the straw page mean? It means Noah knows you're trying to dig up dirt on them. Everyone in the know can tell how obsessed you are. Also, of course Noah would know what you're doing. You constantly yap about them and they know exactly what you're talking about. I also doubt anything that could have leaked would have resulted in this. This is just your natural bad behavior doing this, Carno. Also, while I fix this in the video itself for your own hearing, Carno's text-to-speech is panned to the left ear.
Who is Dead Corpse Chan? Dead Corpse Chan is a 17-year-old artist.
I don't know how Carno fucked this shit up, but it once again shows that this video was extremely rushed.
At this time, the first post on DM was on December 21st, 2018. While doing the math, she would be 11 years old at the time. She could have possibly had more accounts besides the alt account named Lily1244alt.
Did we really have to go back to the DeviantArt thing? All you just added was a bunch of useless information about an alt account and their age when they joined. Yeah, you mentioning that they were 11 when they joined feels like an attempt to get something relatively personal to scare Noah, or just to seem big-brained. Knowing Carno, either is a big possibility. You are trying so desperately to seem smart, but in reality, you come off as really obsessive.
The reason why I said Lily instead of Noah is because that's a quote-unquote dead name, even though that's the name of OC. So she's kind of fumbling around all the goddamn time with her name.
Noah sexualizing her at the time. Sona Lily, who she claims is a minor, as a way to prove Carno groomed her.
Lily is an extremely common name for a woman. It's not a wild name that's explicitly tied to someone's persona, like mine or even yours for example. Noah could just want to freshen up their branding to reflect their current sensibilities, but also think that the name Lily fitted their persona like a glove. The only part I understand about this is that Noah was very inconsistent with if it was a Sona or an adult OC, but even then, you could have clarified it in the moment, and this detail wasn't even mentioned in this video. This detail only exists in the previous Defending Myself video. What a missed opportunity overall. Of course, that doesn't change the fact that you explicitly groomed Noah, but we'll get to that when it gets mentioned. What is more relevant now is that Carno, and by extension Leanie, thinks that the fact Noah drew artistic nudity of Lily means that Noah is sexualizing themselves. This is fucked for two particular reasons. The first is that Carno assumes the absolute worst out of artistic nudity by thinking it's some manipulation tactic to ruin Carno's reputation, when in reality, there are more reasons why someone would do artistic nudity. The other thing that is way more insidious is the fact this falls into the ask for it logical fallacy, by claiming that Noah was drawing themselves sexually is inviting someone to groom them, which is absolutely gross, and only serves the victim blame Noah. It's the artistic equivalent to saying a woman's skirt was too short in a sexual assault case, because it mentions tiny details and twists them as an excuse. Noah was not letting on Carno by lying about important aspects. All they were doing was just practicing anatomy, and the fact you twist this to fit your narrative is absolutely disingenuous and a very gooner-brained argument.
Hey, so I'm recording this again because I forgot to record this, but I'll say it's mine now. How did I meet her? Well, someone who I am best friends with, who I will not name because I don't want him to get harassed. He had an ex-friend who turned to be also another garbage human being. He invited him to the server at the time, and one of my best friends, the owner, like he is the owner, he told me this. She started going on and on and on about a pedophile in a game called Ponytown. Yeah. Yeah, Ponytown. He says I like the chances are low because yeah, it is low, but instead of saying, yeah, you know, this doesn't make any sense, it is low. It is a low chance for me to see him. She kept going on and on and on to the point my friend snapped at her and she ran away between her tails, between her legs.
Carno, this part is deeply suspicious. It kind of feels like you're trying to hide something. Firstly, I think it's funny how Carno almost forgot to record what's ostensibly very important context of the drama. He could have not recorded that part about almost forgetting, but this is a serious video for a serious situation. We have to record silly stuff like almost forgetting context. On to the main issue though, why are you hiding the identity of the people you found Noah through? Would naming them really have caused harassment? Because people could still witch hunt even without the name. The main reason why I suspect some sinister intention when hiding the identity of the individuals is that Carno is pretty buddy-buddy with someone who is known by many names and has transitioned a lot. There is Andrew, White Arcanine, Pink K935, Hailstorm Productions, and much more, but the most famous name is Dark Lord Henry. Dark Lord Henry is a person known for gooning to loud house fetish art, self-shipping with Lincoln, and grooming people. Going into detail would very much derail the video more than it already has been, but if you want more info, the package reviewer goes into the main stuff that happened with them. What is relevant here is that despite Carno making many, and I do mean many rants on Dark Lord Henry, Henry is still a part of Carno's sphere of influence and has even talked to Noah before. Carno is so much of an incompetent dipshit that he has continued to let this known predator around, letting them roam free with only minor slaps on the wrist. I would not be shocked if Carno secretly was shielding them for their own selfish purposes. I know Carno says that they're spying on them, but Carno has just been meandering around with this old spy shtick, that only adding to the suspicion. This will be mentioned later, but Mikon had to force Carl to remove shitty people from his server, so Carno always had the issue of keeping bad people around. Also, regarding the Ponytown pedo, the wording surrounding them is oddly vague. Like, I assume that Carno is trying to imply that Noah was doing some A-logging in the name of vigilante justice, but unless that pedo was famous, there's no reason for a special interest to be ignited. Given that Carno cannot name said pedo, I doubt he was well known. I think Noah or an associate got groomed by them, and they got upset. Also, given they were a minor at the time, yeah, their emotions were way easier to exploit. I don't know what happened from there, but seeing not only has this been years ago, but Noah has changed and taken accountability, I do not think it would be worth mentioning. But that's my best guess, given Carno is such an unreliable narrator and how overly vague Carno's language is. In the end though, Carno desperately needs to clarify the details of the situations because this wording is only making him more suspect.
Why am I mentioning this? Because this proves that she's addicted to these type of stuff. When the first time she got addicted to something, like when every time when someone says to shut up, she gets all mad and run away.
She loves to jab at everyone to get whatever moral high ground.
This proves this is a repeated pattern of her.
Carno, Noah took accountability, but okay, let's hypothetically assume that Carno is right here. Mind-melting thought, I know. How do you know that both behaviors are the same? We have no idea how Noah acted, and there is no proof of such accusations. And no, Riser making a random claim is not equivalent to proof. He wasn't even there during the situation, so I don't know what asking him would add. Y'all are just desperate to seem correct. Also, get used to Riser. He's going to be popping up a lot more from here, albeit in the later sections of the video. But still, Carno relies way too much on Riser for how hefty his claims are. It almost feels like Carno is lying in order to slander Noah. I wonder if my thought process is correct.
Noah had multiple aliases. Lily1244, Noah1244, now currently Dead Corpse Chan or Pink Pearl Blossom, and the two other aliases, Beatrice and Katie. We'll get into that in Chapter 5.
Okay, so we're just randomly mentioning usernames once again? I cannot believe that we are rerunning the same territory all over again. One so useless too. The only accounts that will be relevant later are Beatrice and Katie, and even then, they do not get to be elaborated on until Chapter 5, way later into the video. Oh yeah, this is how Chapter 1 ends too. Carno, you already failed at establishing the players here with random tangents. Thanks to this, we do not know much about Noah, making any future claims way harder to prove. Yeesh, we're only one chapter in and Carno already tripped into some dog poo. Brace yourselves, this video is about to unleash more diarrhea as we finally get into the incident that made Carno start his beef with Noah, and why he's so adamant in taking her down.
Now, we're talking about this, but I do want to say I kind of responded way too angry in my horrible video. It was in January of 2022, so right now it's been 3 years, it's going to be 4 years soon.
There was a lot more wrong with the video than just anger, but I'm not here to delay the inevitable. Carno did that job amazingly. I'm sure that Carno understands the deep-rooted issues with the video, right?
Me and Noah did an RP with the OC, Lily. Now, let me say this right now. I had no idea she was 14 years old. I said this multiple times. I was 17 years old at the time, which we both consented on the roleplay.
Oh, God. Carno is trying so hard and so desperately to be seen as a victim, even after half a decade. Yuck. But okay then, let's break down this extremely incriminating sentence Carno said now, shall we? Firstly, let's talk about the ages. Carno was 17 at the time and Noah was 14. Now, Carno claimed that he didn't know the age of Noah during the RP. Now, if this can be proven that Noah, say, lied about their age, this could potentially save Carno as it would prove innocence and even bias from the detractors. But the only proof Carno's side has is some hearsay about Noah being adult from some friends of his. Which means Carno deciding to roleplay with Noah was 100% the fault of Carno for lacking the common sense to not create roleplays that Carno can jork his chicken to with someone he doesn't even know the age of properly. This is awful enough, but the wording that ends off the sentence is somehow way worse. It's incredibly bold of Carno to push his victim blaming this hard by implying that Noah was some mastermind, especially since Carno has zero proof of Noah being enthusiastic at the car-crushing RP. Hell, Carno's screenshot literally contradicts his whole claim of Noah's consent, seeing as Carno was the one pushing for the roleplay to be about giantesses and car-crushing, alongside the fact that Noah's deadpan responses do not indicate that Noah consented to this type of roleplay, originally expecting something a lot less fetishy. This is such an incredible logic fail, and it really paints the rest of this rant in a bad light if Carno's trying to justify doing fetish roleplays. It's like he's trying to do some troll shielding in order to, somehow, in his mind, outdo how bad the roleplay was.
And that archery on her, I'm kind of 50-50 on nowadays because the character she has stated multiple times is an adult. All the time she keeps fumbling it to be an ex-porn star as well. And this is kind of a history for contradicting it from this as well. Noah, I have a question for you. Is this your persona or not your persona? Can you at least give us a simple answer, please?
Carno, does it matter at all if the OC itself is a Sona or an adult when Noah was a minor themselves when you did the roleplay? It's not like the roleplay became magically okay the moment the persona turned out to be an adult. You still roleplayed with a minor, and downplaying that really hurts your case. Minors can explore adult concepts in their artwork. The work you have shown isn't even something like revenge porn, so this gotcha moment is really petty. This gotcha also has some unfortunate implications too. Oh, if you made porn, that means you are attracting people to roleplay with you. Which is pretty disingenuous overall.
And also, what's up with you being in full-blown porn? Not just the tame stuff, which I don't think there is a tame thing, like quote-unquote tame. Full-blown rape, non-consensual porn art. Explain that, Noah.
This is censored non-con pornovalence at the time Sona Sal who had dementia, meaning this is non-con art of rape.
Yeah, she made this. Explain this, Noah. Like, genuinely, explain this. She did this non-consensual to Alan Sona at the time. Sal, who has dementia. This is 100% gross.
Okay, how is this important? Carno does not provide any further context for why this drawing is somehow important beyond Alan's Friday Night Funkin' / baldy ass Sona having dementia. Not even Alan himself. So it isn't a negative depiction of dementia, I think. For all we know, Alan wanted this drawing to happen. Really though, this is a common theme for this response, leaving important information unanswered, exclusively wanting the audience to take his word on things. There is a fatal flaw to taking Carno's words for granted, however, and that is his clear biases and previous rocky track record. Those two things really don't make him a reliable narrator. Even if Carno was reliable, the lack of context and evidence for those not in the know adds way more suspicion to Carno's intentions. Given what happens later on in the video, Carno's spite becomes a lot more obvious. And I think that's even going to make the most generous people that are not fanboys question his narrative. This is an excellent example of this, as I'm not even sure what the point being made here is. I love how Carno is so desperate to get answers from Noah, but if I was Noah here, I would not even fully remember what's being brought up here. At best this shit is table scraps, and at worst is clear misinformation. So yeah, I'll pull a page from this video and ask Carno what the fuck he's talking about.
And she needs to be called out for this for a pretty good reason. And here's something else I have.
This is talking about Lily's character that was drawn by Noah. Carno said in his video, and I did text him about it, he did get permission from Noah.
And I do want to say this. I was irresponsible. Like, yeah, what I just did, I was unaware of what we did. And we actually consented to the roleplay.
I was very irresponsible, but I'm not gonna explain why. Also, that roleplay was consensual, by the way. Don't you love good old contradictions that shut down the original messages? It's almost like Carno isn't sorry for the roleplays at all. Genuinely though, Carno, if you really were taking responsibility, you would at least explain what you did wrong and showing proper understanding to Noah, because as of now, you come off as really tone deaf and desperate for validation. You really didn't understand the lessons Brackett taught you, did you? Also, just because they gave you permission to draw their Sona, doesn't mean they approve of literally anything you do of their Sona.
At the time, I was unaware. She was 14 years old. Assuming she has a tendency to lie between like 18 to 20. She's been lying about this for ages. I was still 17 years old and still in high school.
I mean, Carno isn't innocent per se, but he isn't as bad as Noah painted him out.
Okay, so no proof or testimonies from others to show that Noah lied about the rage? The only thing Carno provides is an opinion from Ryzor. Carno's desperation for validation can easily be seen whenever he relies on Ryzor or to make his points. Speaking of lacking points, the chapter just ends here unceremoniously. To say that we're already off to an abysmal start is putting it lightly. Carno only used this section to downplay his roleplays with Noah, and ultimately thinking he was in the right for doing so despite his claims otherwise, and dunking on Noah for some NSFW, thinking that absolves Carno himself from his faults. Yeesh, talk about pissing away any remaining goodwill from outsiders, and to think it gets worse from here. I cannot wait to see what Carno does next.
October 2022 is when Noah decided to start again. Mikon, who I made myself clear I do not want to go near her, and she had the bright idea to share stuff with Sav to publicly mock me on a community tab. Well, let's not get into that because that's just petty. That's for the Sav video.
Okay, so the first part of this section, and it isn't even about Noah. Goody. For a little additional context on Mikon, after cutting ties with Box, Carno kept her around on his server, albeit to mostly yap about drama. Yeah, for whatever reason he thinks the most ultra-feminine woman belong on his super edgy server. But what was funny about this whole situation is that Mikon actually suggested Carno do some moderation on his server when shit was going down with Leanie. But Carno pussied out, and what that ultimately resulted in was the toxicity in Carno's server getting so bad, it ultimately resulted in Carno and Mikon cutting ties, alongside the server going down sometime later. So yeah, funnily enough, Mikon ended up being one of the few sane members of Carno's server. No wonder Mikon decided to share around what she had of you. From what I have heard nowadays, Mikon has mellowed out a little bit, but they still act like a brat occasionally, but I'm just gonna take everything with a grain of salt as of now because I haven't interacted with them in years. Though I'll at least give Mikon credit that they're willing to call out Carno on their bullshit. Also, wait for Carno to be so weepy over criticism. Everything surrounding Carno's body of work is so deeply embarrassing, and I am shocked it took until sad for some outsider to shit on Carno's brilliant artwork. Well, outside of the one time Carno posted Gen Z in one drawing under Keemstar and got rightfully roasted. I mean, I couldn't believe Carno either. I never saw that coming. On the plus side though, we once again have Carno bringing up Sav to curb off his hatred for her, even when it's purely irrelevant and pace-breaking. Oh, the joys of Carno coping.
Well, October 2022 is what I say the worst October in my opinion, because Mikon and Noah falsely accused me of grooming Noah. I was freaking the hell out, and rightfully so. I may be going to hide for a few months.
And did you even attempt to disprove it in a non-half-assed way? Really, it seems like you were shielding yourself and refusing to take any sort of accountability. In this very response, you admit in the last section that you did roleplays with Noah, which is grooming. Not helped by you hiding and downplaying the grooming as well, both of which are an admission of guilt to most people. So the accusations are, in all reality, true as hell. Jesus, Carno, you can't even keep a story straight.
I made this document in as well, and I do gotta apologize for making that. It was poorly aged considering what playing what did, but it's not really relevant now, like for this video.
You know, the best part about every Carno apology, and by extension the points, is how he sidesteps and ignores what he thinks is so bad beyond very vague descriptors that would not convince anyone of his side. But despite not being able to go into detail about what he regrets in an apology, or what is wrong with the points Noah is making, Carno is more than willing to go on tangents shitting on Sav in the video that isn't even dedicated to her. That's what we call a man whose priorities are super straight.
Ryan at the time believed Noah and nuked my server, which Ryan has long since apologized to me like around a few months ago.
Did Massa actually destroy your server?
Yes. I'm over it. Shit happens.
I apologized to him about it too.
Cause yeah, shit happens and, well, people will get over it. Granted, there will be a small number of people who still have grudges over stupid stuff about me, but that's about it. Let me the first time that happened. Look, the reason why I'm being a tiny bit vague because I really hate talking about it because it still hurts me after like almost 3 years. Probably over 3 years at this point. I handled it poorly because it was hard to think rationally, and I was in panic control, which is my fault. And I'll be honest, I'm gonna take full accountability on it. And I do want to say I'm sorry for freaking out because it still hurts.
Not gonna lie, I think a solid chunk of this section being about past beef with Ryzor, and the rest being overly angsty about mistakes, whatever that means, shows that this section should have been merged with the next one. Carno really has an issue of not being able to concise his sentences and get to the goddamn point. This section is so bad that it could reasonably be cut and nothing would be lost. Really, I am puzzled at this structure.
December is when me and Noah talked it out, and that's how we moved on.
Wait, why did that point about the temporary truce require the whole trust me bro thing, when shortly after, a screenshot showing the aftermath of the truce is shown? I also cannot believe that you could not find screenshots of the actual truce. I mean, you have an entire drive dedicated to Noah, and Noah's account is still up, so you could gather the proof if you really wanted to. I really don't get the lack of proof.
Until early November 2023 happened, which decided to reignite it!
Carno, your screenshot literally tells you why they reignited it. You two made a deal in order for the drama to stop in its tracks. We don't know the full details of the deal. You really should have explained that if Noah reigniting it was truly that unfair from your perspective. But the one thing we do know about it is that Noah wanted all the messages regarding the roleplay deleted, an easy task for Carno to do if he really was that desperate for the drama to end. If you still wanted the messages for archival reasons, screenshotting in that one HTML method would have sufficed. Really, keeping the messages up, thus backstabbing Noah on their deal, only shows that you do not respect Noah's wishes at all. The whining and weeping about Noah calling you out only further shows how selfish you are, alongside major lacking of self-awareness for why Noah was upset. Or maybe the weeping is just Carno painting himself as a victim again. I wouldn't really be shocked if that was the goal, given the video's woe is me nature.
Early 2023, Noah started this again. I do believe this is either out of spite or something else. I think this is most likely out of spite. Goji the Green Kaiju, I have no idea how to pronounce it. I'm sorry I put it on there. I'm really sorry. Explain this in this video.
Quick, we need to get this out in order to dunk on Noah. Who cares about pronouncing things right?
So Babe's new shit. Kano has yet to delete his messages with me, even though I asked him to. And that's the whole reason I didn't want people to talk about it.
And this is something that fucks me over. So I remember the conversation I had with Noah. She says she's against these type of things. But yet, she's going around saying these awful things and hanging out with people.
Like, does this look like she started up again out of spite? Because I think this does.
Hey, can you stop trying to control the narrative here? Noah has every right to be frustrated at you swindling them. And painting this as Noah being impulsively spiteful is such a deeply disingenuous view of the situation. Especially since the message itself shows Noah not wanting the situation to be dragged out. In a magical twist of irony, however, it feels like Carno's the more spiteful one here. I mean, he's flipping his shit at Noah for daring to do the oh so evil plot of calling him out for not keeping his end of the deal. The horror! It's almost like Carno's points fall like playing cards the moment elementary school level reading comprehension is used.
Why made a video on me, which is now unlisted because it doesn't stand by that anymore, because I found out what Noah is doing, and trust me, we will get on chapter 5.
I mean, what was the point of bringing up the Rizor video again if we're just repeating info again? Do you think we have the memory of a goldfish?
It wasn't until mid-2023 is when it got worse. Skylar, who told that my WAN video on with a fraudulent copyright strike, which I have a link below, is still per use, 80% of the video on Ryan, from Ryan's video. So I do think you should probably take it down if Skylar listens, because he never listens. Trust me, he's so angry today.
Oh wow! Is that the train being derailed yet again? And it's in the exact same way the Defending Myself video did as well. Why is Skylar getting this much attention in this video? At best he should be a footnote with a sentence worth of words. It's even worse here since Carno is trying to imply all of his critics are deeply connected to Noah and conspiring against Carno, even when these scuffles are only tangentially related at best. Carno also thinks that if he debunks those critics and exposes them back, that somehow makes his hatred against Noah justified, and Carno's cause worthy of support. I admit that some faces were rather A-loggy, and made researching this drama for this commentary messy, and I would also say that a lot of them are worthy of critique on their own, which they already have rants, so why would Carl need to repeat the same information here? But Carno's attempt at a get out of jail free card is so stupid and nonsensical that it just ended up being Carno projecting his spite at most people. A complete nonsensical mess at its finest.
And Goji, the Green Kaiju, he said this to me. If only it was that simple from Sav, but that's probably for the next video.
Why did we need this Discord convo to be read with text-to-speech? This isn't even Noah related. This could just easily be summarized as, Koji apologized to me. And if someone were that skeptical to the question, the screenshot is right there to read. Really, this is just another unique way I've seen Carno pull the brakes on an already sluggish video. Also, you wonder why Sav continues to crap on you, when you, Carno, continue to dunk and obsess over her relentlessly. Trust me, there is a massive difference between how you treat Koji and Sav. Also, yay, more Sav teasing. Wasn't this a Noah video? I'll wait in the corner for us to return to the points about Noah.
Because of what they did, I went to hide because of this stuff. Noah got a lot of people involved, and I have some screenshots of what she said.
Okay, there's a lot to dissect here. Firstly, let's talk about how Noah supposedly got a lot of people involved. Firstly, the screenshot shown is just Noah answering a question about why Carno was so bad. Answering questions from others is not the equivalent to sending people to harass you. And Carno knows that too with how vague the wording is. Got a lot of people involved is nothing terminology, other than serving to carefully build Carno's falsified narrative to those who are naive. Carno also claims that he has more proof of Noah gathering an army to harass Carno, but the fact he hasn't shown it in this video is very suspicious. You know, that word again, suspicious? I mean, if you have the proof, you should show it here now. Don't try hiding anything. You somehow decide reading a basic ass apology was worth it, but not showing more proof of Noah trying to dogpile you? Yeah, it seems like Carno is trying to seem grander than he really is. Again. Ugh.
Falcon made point out of me and her. I had the sense of proof. Here's the proof. And he stole from a request. His excuse? Because I was mad. That's what he said. Which is not a valid excuse.
Speaking of falsified narratives, Falclone. He's a can of worms that has made the drama way messier. I'll say first and foremost, Falcone is a disgusting individual who leeches off Carno's victims for his own A-logging, i.e. the revenge porn Carno showed earlier. Though, despite how bad Falcone is, Carno's coverage of him feels tacky and suspicious. For one thing, we're derailing from Noah once again, and just like last time, it was a person who was already well covered in the previous response video. Yippee. You really need to make a separate video for the Noah leeches, far away from both Noah and Sav, if these people are truly that bad, because, ultimately, shoving every last tangentially related grudge into this video is the sloppiest way of exposing them. Though, there could be a more nefarious reason for why Carno shoves people like Falcone into the Noah rant. I mean, there is a smooth transition between the claim of Noah gathering an army to Falcone, and later on, Carno specifically responds to a claim of Falcone, where he talks about doxing. I'll get there when we get to that. So, I have to say, you fucking snake, Carno. You know exactly what this shit sounds like. This does not sound like an accident in the video structure. You are implying that Noah approves of what Falcone is doing, which not only do you not have any proof of, but wording it like this is a hard fact is slanderous, and a very slimy thing to implant onto the average person who doesn't know much about the drama. Carno truly is desperate for people to be on his side, is he?
And he said I sent my fans after him? Which is like zero proof just made up from him? Proves that he has a grudge. It's not even funny.
Did Falcone ever say that? Because ironically, you yourself don't put any proof of this yourself. Yet another example of Carno's hypocrisy beaming through.
But I do have this from his account.
I just found out CarnoProductions wanted Leo Convoy to dox both me and Noah. The hate he gets is well deserved.
And yeah, what he says before, do not harass him. That doesn't make him the light either. Two wrongs don't make a right at all. That includes you lying about me, because I see you lying about me, dude. Where is the proof? This translates to, it's just found that CarnoProductions want to allow Carno to dox both me and Noah. The hate he gets is well deserved.
Wow! Carno really wanted us to know about Falcone's community post so badly that he read it both via text-to-speech and his own voice. Totally not repetitive and excessive. But I mean, that's just the Carno seal quality for ya.
Yet, Noah wanted to dox me. Yeah, I said that right. And the X people said so. So you mind sending me the proof, Falcon? Oh wait, you don't have any proof because it doesn't exist.
Ah yes, you're totally above Falcone. He has no proof of his claims, while you, Carno, have one vague testimonial accusation screenshot from Noah's ex, who would have every reason to hop on the Noah slander bandwagon due to his spite, by the way. As if this screenshot isn't completely garbage that doesn't prove anything being said. Carno sure is confident in random garbage, as if that's indicative of Noah's character at all.
But I have an issue with you calling me transphobic, homophobic, and racist, and ableist, and many, many more. When I'm not? Like, mind getting improved instead of just the memes I made? Like, come on, is that hard?
I mean, that's what happens when you try to appeal to a sensitive crowd like DA Ranters, Carno. Though, that is implying that these edgy jokes, or even any attempt at being edgy, are not completely and utterly embarrassing. Gen Z and one drawing anyone? It was so good that everyone decided to cosplay as it. That is the most infamous one, but we also have the TikTok girl too. Let's not forget some character bios that come off as a parody of fake edginess. And finally, we have this incredible message about the January 6 riots causing dank memes. Truly, Carno is the Johnny Ryan of Gen Z. Ain't that right?
Now here's something that I gotta say. This is kind of sensitive, and it's a very dark topic, and it's a very sensitive subject matter that, in my opinion, kind of hurts me on an emotional level because these were my real life friends. Alright. I know that sounds dramatic because this is me being honest. This hurts on an emotional level.
Oh look, Carno is hyping up the video damage again. This dead air smells really good, especially if this is the, what, third time or so he has done this hyping tactic? Come on, Carno, just let it loose already.
So I'm gonna try my best not to have my emotions kind of out in the open, but let's talk about her two old aliases, Beatrice and Katie. And I got some stuff from the drive called Noah is Evil. So let's begin.
So, you're only going to be kinda emotionally vulnerable going forward. Also, nice subtitle discrepancy. Let's see if Carno keeps his word on this, because something tells me a Carno crash out is just on the horizon. Also, that drive name, Noah is Evil. I'm sure we'll be getting a fair judgment on Noah with a name so passive. This joke would have worked better back in chapter 1, but it's funnier to mention it now, so no dice in changing it.
Alright Noah, if you're watching this, you need to address this on your YouTube. And Sap, if you're watching this, if you choose not to care, I'm gonna be rightfully mad.
I wonder if that sentence Carno said will be invalidated later on. I wonder... Even if Carno's points about Beatrice and Katie were debunked later, what force in the universe required the two to respond to these in particular? You aren't owed a response when making a rant, especially to something so particular. Mostly because this doesn't really involve you. Also, that fucking text on screen really shows how tone-deaf Carno is. The stop invalidating her card works for Sav because instead of proving Noah intended to do slander via the roleplay, or even take accountability for what you did to Noah, you instead decided to enter a competition to out-expose Noah for mostly unrelated shit in a vain attempt for Noah's actions to somehow cancel out the roleplays you subjected Noah to. Even if Noah turned out to be a garbage human being for other reasons unrelated to you, Carno, that would not suddenly absolve you of everything, seeing as we have no reason to believe you won't do this whole suggestive roleplay thing to other people. Either find actual evidence of being innocent, or just take accountability for what you did. It isn't that hard.
But if you do not know, you're up a rude awakening. And allegedly, someone told Ryan that you know everything about her.
She knows everything about Noah. Good and bad.
Because if you're calling me a quote-unquote groomer with the most garbage proof ever, yet Noah groomed 2 people. You need your 3 people to suicide, and if you choose not to care, you're deplorable. I'm being honest, you are deplorable.
Man, these subtitles get even better the more the video goes on. Did Noah allegedly groom 1 person or 2 people? Carno cannot seem to make up his mind. Also, if Sav knows about all of this, it gives them less urgency to give you a respond to the video. I mean, it's in Sav's best interest to not rush her response video out the door, since that would create an actually coherent video. Bracket's response, which you did enjoy, would not be as good if Bracket rushed it out for the drama cloud, would it?
In mid-2023, Noah made aliens by the name of Beatrice, who was taking advantage of someone named Joseph. Noah first contacted Joseph as Beatrice in early 2023. Now, I do not have a specific date when this happened, and during that time, Noah groomed Joseph and made very concerning drawings on them.
Damn, you think Carno would have observed the screenshots in his drive for the proper dates, but I guess winging it would have gotten it done faster, even if this mess is forced to be corrected in the text and subtitles. Also, no specific date? You have the exact dates in the screenshots. There's no excuse not to know it. Did you even look at your own proof when writing this script? Even if this was after the script, you could have easily re-recorded the line. But I guess the Carno mind simply cannot be comprehended, I guess. Okay, now that we have that glaring issue out of the way, who is this Joseph person, and why is Carno so defensive of him? Well, this Joseph person is actually known as Leany. He is otherwise known as Red Dragon Draws. He has someone who's become rather infamous within the Carno community previously for his hatred of Vietnamese people, with drawings to boot as well, and being rather obsessive with more feminine parts in Carno's community, and even to Carno himself. This obsessive quality will manifest later on with a now infamous artist known as Pumpkin the Gentleman, who isn't really that relevant beyond Leany, but Pumpkin was someone Leany had a homosexual view of, to the point where Pumpkin told Leany to stop. This inspired Noah to stop Leany's obsession by making the Beatrice and Katie accounts, which would contain Leany's obsessions to those accounts. Now, I will dissect the whole situation once Carno shows proof. I just wanted to provide context so the full picture is in view, since Carno refuses to share this much needed part of the story. I guess to preserve his friendship with Leany and make him not have to take accountability? I am not so sure personally. For now, I'll let this roll, albeit in an abridged format for time, and I'll provide opinions later.
Now, without giving proper context or knowing, you might think this is Noah, but you can see these arts are kind of similar. Alright, here's Beatrice's artwork with quotes, and here's Noah's artwork. You can see, these guys are very similar. Her actions didn't deny until everything clicked. Joseph confronted Noah on Valentine's Day 2024. Here's all the information we have, all the screenshots.
I'm very sorry. I just have been feeling a little. I really want to spend time with you, but I've been feeling weak and just overall tired and depressed. I know it's no excuse. I'm sorry. But all this with my family and ever since I moved, it's just been horrible. I understand if you want to break things off. It's totally understandable. But I've been focused a lot on school and I have work now. It's been hard to manage everything, you know. I can totally see you with someone that will give you more attention. But I want you to know THH right now. I'm really busy and I think maintaining a relationship would be really hard.
I'm sorry, but this is Noah's account, and it's the same art style. I honestly think you're and the fact that it's really convenient to pop up right now. When you have it pop up earlier is really interesting.
I have. You weren't online?
I tried having a account. What do you mean I've been online 24/7 basically?
I saw this Instagram online multiple times.
I have a saying to do not disturb that I'm offline. I may have been offline due to a power outage, or just being having life and probably doing other things. But I've been online for a huge chunk of time, and even then, you have still contacted me.
I'm sorry. I truly should have been there and I understand why you're frustrated.
I know it's no bullshit. I know those fake sexual harassment claims against me. Funny how technically you're a sexual harasser and grooming it. That's the same art style.
I have my own account on TikTok. I just never checked it.
It's hard to maintain art style perfect
I told you I followed someone else's style. I can give you that if you want.
Oh really? So you just fucking confirmed your God.
By the way, Joseph replied, how dare you care about me? My fake account told me lying. Eagles.
You make it.
That's not my account. That's not mine. I never posted on my account.
You just fucking made that right now,
No, I didn't. I've had this for a while.
I don't want to sell you, but I really thought you were no. Now, look how you made that draw. It's the exact same group.
I can show you that video on my account creation.
I have ex-best friends. You're a slash one. My interest is not fucking real person. I tried to think otherwise. One. Completely showing up. You were never your own start stitching up. Oh, I'm slash you. And then going over to actually sexually assault her and grooming.
This is just, I'm confused and hurt. I'm sorry. I came to take some time to talk to you. I'm sorry. Here's the person that gives an inspiration.
Girl, what? That's not proof. That's just showcasing this art style, but I see nothing
I don't see something in my opinion. Right now it's 3 a.m. I'm gonna go back to sleep. I just tried to text you today. I guess that was a bad idea. Again, I'm sorry.
No, you're fucking same. Look at the lashes and how Albert Century, how you basically fucking into it. Even fucking in my look. Same line width, same line texture. Holy shit.
Now then, for some opinions. For one thing, I won't fully defend Noah here. I feel like her attempt at stopping Leany was, in fact, reckless and overly dangerous, alongside the fact that they were a minor during the whole predator hunting thing. But I cannot be the only one who finds Leany's reactions a little strange. I mean, he gets so heated over Noah denying that they are Beatrice and Katie, when, to be honest, I think it would have been better for Leany to just cut contact silently with no explanation. Leany also should really control himself when it comes to affection, especially around other accounts he does not know. But this isn't a Leany video, so I'll just cut it off here. Making impulsive, rash, and overly emotional decisions and reactions over situations, and a lack of self-reflection? I guess Carno and Leany are one and the same. Fitting for butt buddies.
I know some of you guys would think, wait, isn't it possible to trace the artwork? The answer is yes, but the issue, when I say issue, I mean big issue, that this is more her art style. Like, this is her. Undeniable proof. You can see from side to side. This is her.
Could you not pick any better examples of art, or at least help make the comparison more obvious? The only smoking gun here that shows that these are alike is probably the hair. But even then, so many people share this exact art style. The previous examples did a way better job at conveying how identical they were. I also think the screenshot confirming Noah makes all accounts should have had emphasis put on it, since it goes by extremely quickly. Carno really lacks the ability to lay out evidence, even if it is obvious what he should do.
This is Sam Dilo. I think I butchered. I don't speak Portuguese. I don't really speak Ronaldo, so yeah, I know people are gonna say that's racist, but it's a joke. Take a joke. In translating this, it means untitled.
This dunk was reviewed by Real Patriots. The libs are officially owned by Carno's Edgy Humor. Yeah, I don't know what else to say. Carno honestly apes a lot of that mid-2010s Leafy is Here humor, particularly it's a joke bro shit, even into the mid-2020s. Honestly, every time Carno unironically does a dunk like that, it comes off like how comedians still do the whole, in a few years, no one will be able to tell these jokes, even when the pedestal hasn't changed at all. But at least with edgy comedians, they rely on the audience being smart since they have mature humor that is deep. That and they need people to pay money for their shows, so keeping it in the mainstream is very beneficial to them. Carno, on the other hand, is still stuck in middle school, when he really should have matured his sense of humor by now. You also had to break the pacing of this video by tacking on the Spanish translation to Untitled in there as well. Sentence structure be damned. And you wonder why people think your videos are hard to follow.
Why I confronted her on the 1st October 2023 about her cheating.
You didn't really care at all. Considering you even cheated on him.
What? Ryan?
Polysexuality is cheating.
I literally did not know that. Because I dated someone who was poly and they told me it was okay to date other people, regardless, again not right for me to do.
Another epic meme fact checked by Real Patriots, debunking every last claim. At least to Carno, since he completely ignores the bottom part of the text where Noah explains themselves and admits that they were unsure of the definition. Really not sure why Carno is so confident in the most disingenuous statements, to the point where he did a quirky edited dunk on Noah. This exact issue only gets worse from here, folks, so strap in and be prepared.
She has had multiple ex-boyfriends. Not one, not two, multiple. All of whom got cheated on by her. Christ, no wonder she has a boy account. This guy's one at best. Probably get goddamn attacked by a no-go's weight. I'm gonna skip my whole tangent on polysexuality for good reasons and another reason, cause you don't want to hear me ranting a lot.
Why are we getting into Noah's dating life here? Yeah, they dated and have exes. So does every other human who dated. This isn't a dating profile. What is the point of mentioning they cheated on people, which you do not have proof of? Did they do any actual bad things to their partners like manipulation or abuse? Because from what I can see, none of that occurred. And with that, Noah's dating life becomes none of your beeswax. Stop trying to invade every part of Noah's life. Also, I know Sav did do some A-logging via making cringy ships, but I don't get why you would hate polysexuality as a concept because of these drawings. Direct them to Sav when that Sav video comes out. God damn it.
There's also more stuff Noah did to herself, like sexualizing her character, which she keeps claiming is a critical reminder in this drawing.
Once again, so what? Noah was a minor when they drew this, and it was just artistic nudity, aka not tied to any roleplays or anything of the sort. You are being so catty right now, and it makes me wonder why you're digging into the most inconsequential dirt, just to be inflammatory and add reasons, because it just comes off as excessive. Also, we already talked about this before.
There's also this gender swap drawing that was made by an ex-friend named Bonnie the Cackle Demon. Also, Bonnie, if you're watching this, I'm aware that you are following me on Twitter. I'm being for real right now. You doing this, doing Noah's BS, is making me very suspicious of you. You're free to contact me to explain your side if you have Discord, even though you delay your original, or contact me. I'm all ears. Just do not lie to me about this stuff. This is very serious stuff.
Okay, so now we're just airing grievances to people that are only 1% related to Noah. And that airing is coming off as a gassy fart. Just talk this shit out in DMs rather than including these grudges in your rant videos. You are coming off as really petty, Carno, and I don't see why Barney the Dinosaur in particular is such a notable figure here. Is a Twitter follow really worth that much to you? Just get back to Noah, Jesus.
Noah's also known to sexualize self-harming. Yeah, she did that.
Slurp that dick till it come. Smack my ass like the drum.
This is concerning, to be honest. Like, my stuff can be passed because the songs I listen to, and obviously I don't promote that stuff because they are songs. Shocker. This, on the other hand, is not passable. And the fact that Noah did this is more to drive as well. Jesus Christ.
What was that? No, seriously. I don't get what's so wrong with this video. All this video was an angry guy, autism creature appears, and then that's it. I was expecting hardcore violence. I want a refund. But okay, how does Carno and Lee describe this video? Sexual, I mean fetishizing self-harm. Yeah, Carno once again cannot keep his subtitles straight. And having a crush? How? I did notice some blood in a black bar behind the censor, but judging from the subtitles, this is Noah hurting themselves over past experiences. It's just them venting is all I am saying. That is the closest thing I can glean from this snippet. I cannot, for the life of me, figure out why this makes Noah look like a bad person. Stop taking this shit for granted, Carno. You have an audience of outsiders watching this video. And I bet they would be as lost as I am currently. Also, stop claiming your artwork is somehow deeper because you listen to Baby's first metal music. That shit doesn't make you any cleverer. Really, you are just coming off as an egotistical asshat if anything. Noah isn't even promoting self-harm in this video. How did you misrepresent a simple video this badly? That doesn't give me hope for the other stuff in this drive.
I know I'm starting to get a little bit irritated because that's because I am. I'm sorry for like trying to. I'm almost close to losing my cool, but Jesus Christ, there's so much that I can go through that I'll be here all damn day. This video would be like hours and hours long, but I will try my best to go through everything. But since we've done with this chapter, how about we go to the next one, the Noah and Sap stuff.
Man. At this rate, Carno will be like Dog Z and Dog 6 when talking about the Omni Kings. It'll be incredible when we see Carno complain about them not having background checks or something like that. Come on, Carno, the hype from this video is killing me.
Oh hey, imagine someone wanted me to kill myself and said she was proud of it. Nice! So I'll give you the rundown. Zap, also known as Elected Dad, is an all-commentary channel, so we know she's sensitive. Whose channel was made on May 23rd, 2017. Though she might have made other accounts, but to be honest, who cares? She's also made this very garbage video on me, which I consider one of, if not the worst video I've ever seen. And I've seen like a lot of garbage videos. And that's just saying something. But that's for the next video, which I gotta edit the script now because I gotta do this again, which is not gonna be fun. Great job.
Ah, Carno is just letting loose his hate boner for Sav. This is the billionth time you have mentioned her in this Noah video. Jeez, the housing market might be in the shitter at this point, but Sav can easily afford it because she lives rent-free in Carno's head. With a nice guest room for Noah too.
Noah pretty much iconic Zap, like last year, I made this horrible video on me. I heard that allegedly she knows that Noah's a groomer, which I really hope it's not true. But if it is, I'm gonna go berserk on for pretty good reason.
So your reasoning boils down to, wah, Sav likes Noah and not me. You know, as if Carno hasn't been making a complete ass of himself and doesn't realize he needs to earn the respect of others rather than just making a petty laundry list of an exposing video. Carno then wonders why Noah is gaining a bigger active following than him.
Cause
me, after thinking about that one specific person, I don't miss him, I miss the memories. I don't really fucking care if this gets to him at this point. He already hates me.
yeah, by what? Parents are being abusive to him? Oh yeah, she did that to him. She was abusive to him and cheated on him multiple times.
How do you know who they are specifically talking about? Honestly, this seems really creepy and invasive. Based on your track record so far though, I don't think you could really back up any abuse claims made by Noah's exes.
For context, she's accusing her ex that he quote-unquote abused her with big ass quotes, when it was the other way around. He said that Noah ended up spiraling him into addiction. She has also made every single thing sexual. Not kidding, no lying, which is worrying.
So once again, we do not have any screenshot proof of this supposed abuse. That's interesting, and I mean interesting as in being really suspect of this claim. Okay then, let me be brutally honest here. This dude who's giving testimony seems like he's giving out complete and utter bullshit. I mean, spiraling into addiction? This and the other claims of shit like abuse seem extremely overdramatic, vague, and loaded. What I assume happened in reality is that this is just someone who is still upset about the breakup and wanted to get revenge. And then they saw Carno's group as the perfect opportunity to get back at them. Because he does not seem to answer things in a clear and digestible way, just pure raw emotional angst, just like Carno himself. You see, autistic adults? This is why you do not trust random testimonies as evidence, as they are unreliable and only used to further push biased narratives. Yes, I did say autistic adults. This channel isn't for babies.
Noah also said this is just so stupid.
The song is literally pro-rape. It isn't anything like Rape from Nirvana, which is anti-rape. I'm not offended by the song at all. What I was offended by was the fucking grain. Because no fucking human with an actual stable mental health would even think about drawing that shit. Here's the drawing, by the head had to crop his yapping.
But, one of the hypocritical part, I managed to go through her Spotify. Yes, she has a Spotify. And what I found? Not one, not two, but 3 death metal bands. Accidental suicide, death, serial killing, murder, and for go and see that kind of stuff, right? Go and sickness, rest and gore, good band by the way. Sickness, germs, gore.
Wow, Carno listens to music which contains germs? Sorry germaphobes for the panic attacks. Carno is too busy listening to music that involves germs. He puts facts over feelings, you know. Lol. Carno, you never fail to put a smile on my face for the godly shit you say. Anyways, what is even up with this point? Noah in the screenshot you shown said they were not offended by the song, so you dunking on them by showing they are a metal music fan makes absolutely no sense. All they were offended by was the drawing, which you conveniently ignore oddly enough. So yeah, Carno, the accusations of you being mentally unstable still remain unanswered. Though knowing Carno in this video, it's basically true at this point. Also, you brought up that porn drawing again, expecting us to have magically known the context since last time, which we haven't, by the way. So we still don't fully know what is wrong with it. Pretty please stop taking these points like they're for granted and explain them. This Noah rant doesn't really have much of Noah in it, ironically enough.
He actually called Cannibal Corpse rape because of a song. You cannot make this up. This is nothing like Nirvana, Noah. Look at the lyrical things of Cannibal Corpse. Hey, fun fact, guys. Extreme metal bands have extreme lyrics and are not made the faint of heart. Oh, wow, shocker. Welcome to the extreme music scene, where no one is protected for your living. Death metal is wanted because it's death metal. Go back and listen to your slave talking to me. That's because that's made for your soft asses. Here's what Noah likes.
Women are for babies, and I am not a baby, unlike Noah, who is a baby. Also sleep tokens in there for some reason. I think I need to refresh my memory on them with that musical autopsy Buckley made. But damn, Jesus Christ, do we need a whole metal elitist rant in the middle of all this? It's so funny how so many metal music fans have to posture how hardcore they are, even if it comes off as try-hard as hell. For Carno in particular though, it comes off as an extra funny grift, given he hangs out in ultra cutesy feminine girl spaces that would even make Barbie blush. And the modern OC DeviantArt community, which is ostensibly only one step away from the daycare DeviantArt and Philomene communities. Also, Carno's an unironic Skibbity Toilet fan too, so this posturing as to how hardcore he is reminds me a lot of a specific term. A term meaning not firmly fixed, liable to give away or break. I wonder what that term could be. I guess we will never know.
But before that, Joseph, also known as victims, she accused of sexually harassing Pumpkin the German guy. Yes, that Pumpkin. Now the whole Pumpkin the German guy situation, I will not discuss this here. Just watch these videos. But Noah thought Joseph is quote-unquote best friends with him. And there's a literal meme page on him, like the Know Your Meme page section. That's saying something. And Joseph got this from her Twitter.
I'm Noah.
Whoa, Noah. Okay, so let me get this straight. So you literally catfished and groomed Joseph for a good reason to protect other people? What? What? What is up with this woman?
I mean, all she is saying is that she tried to stop Leanie from continuing to do the whole sexual harassment shtick around people like Pumpkin, which there is full evidence of Leanie doing, by the way. And Noah later admitting that the whole containment strategy on Leanie was a horrible idea that, while innocent on paper, led to further disaster that Noah would grow up to regret. They also talk about Leanie's weird Vietnam obsession too, which we also have proof of as well. So yeah, Noah said nothing wrong here. They just called out Leanie for being Leanie, and talking a bit about past regrets of Leanie. Really, it is Leanie being the asshole here and not taking accountability. But alas, since Carno is biased towards Leanie, and they have a common enemy, Carno's not going to call out Leanie at all on this.
Among them are rape situations, child abuse, etc., etc. This has been a recurring issue with this particular user. A lot of people who are now my best friends have suffered at the hands of this person. They are also really obsessed with the Vietnam War, claiming to have had a past life in it. This user is or was racist towards Vietnamese people, but yet had a strange obsession with the Vietnamese women. Which really doesn't click in my brain. Look, it's my OC Lily. Lily is Russian.
Stupid. Carno, I think you're the one that is stupid. Not only did you once again not provide context for what the fuck these screenshots mean, and why that makes Noah out to be a bad person, but even then, from the context I've gathered, this was just a parody of Leanie's Bush Sona. Is this supposed to be offensive towards Russians? Well, no, just saying a nationality isn't offensive. Is it supposed to be offensive towards Leanie? Well, let me just say Lean Green Man is the most thin-skinned person imaginable, or they have an agenda to push out Noah, which they're desperate to find evidence of. I think it's a combination of the two, personally.
I don't really care what they tell you about me, because all I was 14, 15, and I was really funny, so I'm obviously need to take accountability. But I'm not gonna stand here and let this person go without any consequences. Here's also some pretty easy videos with the one that's talking to you, see, he's
And to make it special for you, it's being released on your birthday. Happy birthday!
Okay, is it just me or is this a little sociopathic? I mean, playing this entire video out to release on Noah's 18th birthday is a little icky. Especially given how dead set Carno is on trying to get Noah off the internet. Carno truly is going full mask off in this video, now that his entire momentum has been evaporated. He truly is desperate for revenge now.
I appreciate that. You are a very kind, affectionate, and thoughtful guy, but please move on. Find someone who can return that affection.
I can't find anyone. You're one of the only few people who care about me. Other than that, I'm just a fucking outcast.
It hurts me seeing you put all this effort into me knowing I won't return the same amount. Yes, sometimes I pray along, because I want to do something in return. I'm one of his victims. Okay.
Sometimes I feel embarrassed for humanity, and then again I don't. TikTok doesn't know the victim is a racist, does it?
Okay, so a quirky Russian Bush is the equivalent to wanting an entire nation who went through an entire war with the US to be burned, and to be a part of said war killing the victims. Yeah, I don't know if I could see the equivalencies here.
Jesus Christ, just looking at this makes me want to crash out. And I don't crash out that much for pretty good reasons, because I might say something I will regret. Kind of like what happened, I thought Sav said I quote-unquote sexually assaulted someone.
I mean, given your previous rants, especially the defending myself video, you really don't have a great track record for not saying things you instantly regret, given all these videos were just stream of conscious bullshit.
Now, Noah said that Joseph quote-unquote sexually harassed Pumpkin the German guy. That's like probably one of the most screwed up things you ever said. That's not even funny at all, Noah. That's not funny. That's just screwed up.
So you have no rebuttal to the claim. You just say how heckin' gross it is, brah, and just stop at that. Ignoring the fact that there are all sorts of evidence of Leanie sexually harassing Pumpkin, really this non-response shows that you have fallen into the enemy of my enemy is my friend mentality, which honestly makes the whole Sav being biased for Noah thing feel like massive projection on Carno's part. Speaking of which, where the fuck was Sav during all this Leanie talk? This section is over after all of this, yet Sav was only shown during the first minute or so of this, just like the rest of the video. I thought she was gonna have a way bigger role in this story than she really did, considering the fact that you basically hyped up Sav during the entire video, and this section title has Sav in it. 0 out of 10, I'm suing for false advertising.
This gets more intense and insane each day. So I'll give you a rundown in a nutshell. North, who was on Noah's side at the time, pretty much went ape on the server. All of a sudden, DM'd me on July 6, 2025. He DM'd me wanted me on my side because he knows Noah's a garbage human being.
Hey. Yes, I think about it. I want to join your side. Oh my. Can I have a reason why? Just asking. There's literally no friend. We're nice literally. I tried to be nice 24/7 in the literally just left behind my thought was friend. No, never care. She just wanted to be shut up. I mean, so she bullshit. Let me say this. I do think you deserve to get criticized for being hard and real. I'm glad that you didn't your fault of it.
I don't know, Carno. It just feels like yet another case of the enemy of my enemy is my friend mentality. From what I could tell, Noah got sick of Norm of the North's A-logging, falsely assuming it was about Carno, and in response, joined Carno's side out of revenge. Also, one of the few pieces of hearsay I have had regarding this drama is regarding North, and that's the fact that he's been accused of being a predator, thus making this Diddy Blood comment make a lot more sense. I know I'm being extremely generous to Noah here, and some could say I'm acting like a fan brat, which, ironically enough, is an issue I feel like Sav has, i.e. that first Carno video of hers, but I have two reasons for this Noah skew. For one thing, Noah seems to be a lot more rational and more likely to take accountability. Just doing that on their own gives me trust. Secondly, Carno's crew all share the exact same impulse and communication issues that result in Carno's side coming off as good old yellow journalism. This even extends to tiny portions of the video, like with North for example. This whole focus on sensationalism shows how little Carno actually thinks his logic through. And Norm here isn't exactly changing my mind either.
Considering that she is a manipulative person? Yeah, makes sense. He also sent me this.
Okay, fine, what is it?
Hop on voice call. We need to talk. You don't need to talk.
Okay, I won't speak with my voice cause my family's at home.
Okay.
I can't go anywhere else, it's raining.
Bro, fuck you, bro.
Not just that, she also said this to him.
Diddy blood.
Noah. Did you realize what you have done?
There is some weird cutoffs in the screenshots here that come off as manipulative. I think some context would really help here. I know I'm coming off as a broken record with context, but Carno is hyping up every new screenshot like it's some CIA government conspiracy a la MKUltra. I'm becoming more and more lost in the forest, and Carno isn't exactly helping by dumping all this information and expecting me to put together the puzzle.
I was able to get into this group chat. However, at the time, I was out of the house and swimming in the pool. And this is going to be a lot to unpack for, so yikes.
Man, we really needed to know that Carno swam in the pool when he was added to the group chat. This information is the most important part of the video. Nothing else is needed.
The coffin of Andy and Lele community changed the meaning of that word for me.
You can't really go back in that community because of Carno. No wonder he's into it though. He's a weirdo.
Ouch.
You know someone can be a fan of something while still warning people about the bad side of the community, right? This image doesn't prove shit. Is it really worth gatekeeping the coffin of Andy and Lele of all things? You don't deserve the Curb Your Enthusiasm theme, Carno.
Regarding her relationships, she knows. Or does she only know what Noah paints herself to be? If she knows regarding her own relationships,
she knows everything about Noah. Good and bad.
Then she's either extremely biased or delusional, so like, she calls out other people for being groomers, but excuses it for Noah. What?
Like I've said before a while back, if Sav did know what she did and harm multiple people, I'm gonna go ape on her. But if she doesn't know, Rude Awakening. I'm sorry for repeating myself, but this actually does kind of make sense.
There was Sav. I missed when we talked about her in the section dedicated to the friendship between Noah and Sav. I don't get why it's here though. Also, I lost track of how many times you mentioned Sav, both in general and in context of your epic own. Lay off the Sav shit until the Sav video, god damn it.
And here's what Noah said.
Well, he's lying. Because the Danny person's currently 18 and if they were 13 when this happened. This was 5 years ago. Carno is currently 21 years old. Just take 5 years and it gives you 16.
Well, Sissy might say, wow, and I'm who I will keep anonymous because I do not want him to get dragged into this stupid stuff. He wanted to get her side, and this is what she said. At the time, I was 14 years old. I am 21 now, as this video, almost a decade ago. I'm gonna say this to Rebecca. I'm so sorry for that question I did. I'll be open for a conversation with you on Discord, but I do want to say that you talking to Skylar is not a good idea for pretty obvious reasons. Due to him driving someone to almost commit suicide, along with being a full-blown racist and a doxer. The whole law is unedited, by the way, so no editing software. So as I'm saying, the whole law N-word. Yet I'm the bad guy for saying it with an A in the end.
Yeah, look, just because Skyward got away with it and managed to get Sav's trust doesn't mean you have to stoop to his level. Really, imitating the actions of those you hate only makes you look like a deep hypocrite. You claim moral superiority over these people, but guess what? You do the exact same bullshit as them. Just because Skyward got pampered by Sav a little bit doesn't mean you can get away with the same shit.
An A, but that is passable? Give me a break. Noah could have looked at the date and my birthday and think, oh, she was 14 at the time? But nope! She decided to double down and continue the lie.
They said they were 14.
Carno?
Yeah.
Well, he's lying. Because the Danny person's currently 18 and if they were 13 when this happened. This was 5 years ago. Carno is currently 21 years old. Just take 5 years and it gives you 16.
At the time, I was 20 years old. I am 21 now. And the fact she lied, it's made me think she's intentionally lying to ruin my life.
Okay. Just because Noah misremembered the details to a drawing one time, which you don't even disprove, which makes your point considerably weaker, means she's trying to ruin your life. Well, even if we ignore all the proof Noah has of you that shows that you are a fetishistic deviant who's willing to do fetish roleplays with anyone under the sun, assuming they're 18, even when they aren't, this is a boldly wrong assumption because we have no idea what the message's full emotional intent was. But seeing as Noah's willing to take accountability and admit fault, jumping to her wanting to ruin your life, as if you had any, is a bonkers idea and honestly feels like projecting knowing how much you want Noah's life ruined. Let's just hope this point doesn't get any worse.
Which she did, that I could legally sue her. The issue is that she has a point which makes it difficult.
So it did just get worse. Oh, adult male, let me just say that you are completely off your rocker if you think this has any legal grounds at all. Even if you have no legal knowledge, there is nothing indicating Noah has any slanderous intentions in calling you out. They just were calling you out for some lies you did. And no, that previous screenshot isn't fucking slander. And even if it was harmful, you would need way more than just one screenshot to get anywhere legally. And that implies the legal system even knows the ropes of modern day internet drama. We are at least a few decades away from Zoomers taking over the justice system. Really, I don't really know where you got the idea to become a backseat lawyer from. Oh wait, I have a theory. And it's not that Carno decided to play Ace Attorney one day and magically became a lawyer. It all actually comes back to the neurotic neutron. But what do I mean by that? Well, Brackett has lately started to insert legal terminology into his videos, inspired by Mr. Enter who did the same thing for the Star Giant drama. And given the fact Carno added subtitles in response to Brackett, I think it's safe to say that he might have taken some other influences from him too. But whereas Brackett is able to be careful and emphasizes stuff as hypothetical, Carno states this shit akin to an actual lawyer and treats it like it's actually going to happen for real. Really though, this is just a byproduct of Carno's impulse issues coming to light yet again and spewing schizophrenic shit as a result.
Oh yeah! Noah, did you also look at the birth date? And did you think this was, oh, he was born 2004? It's 2024? That means he's 21! That's not how dates work, no-go. Considering you look like no-go, that's saying something, I'm just saying.
You know, I find it impressive that Carno keeps finding new ways to dodge confronting the points against him. This time, it's by insulting Noah's appearance. It's probably the pettiest thing I've seen Carno do yet. But knowing Carno cannot make an argument to save his ass, and is extremely desperate, it's no wonder Carno has to resort to petty insults.
Noah also brought my ETS stuff I made when I was freshly 18. But looking back at it, it just makes you cringe. That, along with the 2033 anniversary considered one of my worst projects of all time. I stopped doing it like a few years ago, but I do occasionally mention him for like jokes, but that's about it.
Noah brings up stuff from my past, but I regret those things anyway. Carno, what's the logical through line in all of this? At best, this is you shielding your ass from criticism by saying you regret it, and at worst, it just comes off as you trying to pass off every little post as dirt, which comes off as extremely desperate. Also, I find the fact you only started to regret the 233 end right now very funny, since I criticized you for that project back in January 2021, and you insisted on continuing it despite everything. And I was both the same age as you and have a similar level of autism, so there was really no excuse not to listen to me. And yes, these are important factors given that Carno likes to throw around his age as a way of deflecting past faults. In fact, I didn't see you regret it until Brackett's video came out, so this is a double entendre of trying to suck up to Brackett and also to deflect past faults to shield his ass. You can say that you regret this stuff all you want, but you need to actually show better behavior for that to be true. And you are failing at that simple task with flying colors. Though, I will end this section with obituary, because I am super sad we will never see the 234 end or the past release. Truly, we lost some great cinema.
I do want to make it so clear before you guys forget what I said, because there are some people who are against me either intentionally skipping some important stuff, or the other reason they forgot art. So, nice.
Honestly, a lot of this issue is that you failed to lay out the land in a way that outsiders can easily follow. With a structure so messy, it can be hard for well-intentioned people to gather important context. And any people who have more ill intent can use that messy structure in order to paint you in an unfair light. It's especially important here, given that the story is scattered across so many responses, and few of them are able to clarify it in a tidy way. So yeah, this problem would not really exist if you didn't half-ass these response videos.
Me and Noah consented to that roleplay, and I have said this multiple times. I had no idea she was 14 years old and I was 17. And the fact that Noah keeps dragging us on like on the mud since 2022 is gonna be irritating. I have apologized, but at least try to have someone contact me and say, hey, excuse me, can you get rid of that? Thank you. But nope, she kept going over and over again, especially in that garbage video. Is it that hard? Jesus Christ. I'm sorry for getting a little bit mad, but I have a reason to get mad.
Oh, it's Carno doubling down on the whole consent thing with Noah, despite it being so obvious that it's all Carno's fault. You wonder why Sav and every other detractor got so mad at you for what you did, and then you spitefully double down on what you did wrong rather than actually owning up to it. You can pay lip service to the idea of taking accountability, but everything else surrounding this shows how backwards of a human being you are. Man, this rant reeks. I don't know what else to say, man.
Also, when I mentioned doxing a while back, no one wanted to find out where I lived!
Oh yeah. She would talk about that a lot. How she wanted to know where you live.
I'm sorry, what?
Well, maybe not a lot. But any VC we had regarding you. It is something that would come up.
Like housewives, which, by the way, that is not legal in her country. And no one's people are using defamation on me, but if it was in America, I would serve a defamation. Because this is actually defamation.
Jesus Christ, Carno. You once again crash out and talk about suing her over an accusation. This time, it wasn't even something Noah themselves said, but an accusation Reiser made that we're supposed to take at face value despite lacking evidence. This is a serious rant, by the way. Honestly, I'm so glad Noah lives in Portugal, because knowing how much Carno's parents coddle their son, Carno's mom was literally on his Discord server, I could see an attempted lawsuit occurring from Carno. I can only imagine how that would go. Your Honor, we have these two screenshots that accuse this Noah girl of hating our Lord and Savior Carno. Can you please arrest Noah? And that was the most favorable outcome. I love how this implies that everything before now has been confirmed to be true, with proof and everything. Again, according to Carno, Noah is the one doing slander. Now that's a joke you could tell yourself all day.
Okay, now this is the alleged stuff, so that means there's no proof and just testimonies. So take it with a grain of salt, but I am not gonna lie about this. Because she is a serial liar, and I'll put him in a list. 1, the stuff she's being alleged to be doing, and 2, her being a total hypocrite.
Serial liar. Yeah, I seriously think Carno's extremely desperate to add anything bad to Noah's record at this point. Even if, in all reality, this overall describes Carno more than anything else. This entire video has felt desperate, but this is such a massive reach, I think Carno's arms broke trying to make it.
The first one is just so damn stupid, it's not even funny. It's that when someone makes a joke about her home country Portugal, she will get mad. Like, actually genuinely mad. Yeah, I bet her face probably how dumb that sounds. Let me say this clearly. No matter what country you're in, people are gonna make jokes about your country, whether they're gonna like it or not. Take it or leave it. Someone told me that no one makes fun of other countries, but when someone talks about Portugal, that's a big old no-no. So, well, guess that's it. I can't call Portugal Nolan now. So, good to know. Because there's a few that doesn't know anything about Portugal besides these things. But that's besides the point. It's for Nolan, after all.
Wow! Thank you, Mr. Globalism, for teaching us that people make social critiques of countries via the art of the funny. I guess we are forced to assume that Noah handled it in the worst way possible, because why else does Carno not provide additional context for why she was offended by the jokes? Even for such a basic accusation. Just take Carno's word blindly, okay?
For legal reasons, this is a joke!
So, this is a joke that needed to be clarified for legal reasons, but nothing else in the video that could get Carno in legal trouble? Let's hope the courts manage to parse the context from the video itself, even if it does melt their brains off.
The second one is a racism. So there's someone named Emma Jones, who is making his own video on her, and during the call, Noah said the N-word. With the hard R, like the hard R N-word. Like, they made that example. No people like said, oh, Columbus racist for saying it, with the A. Meanwhile, Noah said with the hard R to an actual black person. And I told Jones about this, and he said this to me.
Yo Jones, just asking. Did Noah say the hard R to you? I'm currently working on the script.
No, but she said this to me.
Moral of the story, you're black.
What does that mean?
It means you're not the right color.
Noah said the nincompoop word. Anyways, here is proof of them not actually saying that, all with a screenshot of some other thing taken completely out of context that will frame as racism as the cherry on top. Well, that's another cell phone from the Carno cult. As if the cult wasn't already dysfunctional at this point, but whatever.
Yes, this is her. She actually said this. The N-word is censored, but yeah, this is her. Clear as day. No lorry screams, lose with thee, not for me.
Jesus Christ. Carno has hit such a low that he decided to show Noah's face completely uncensored to the public. Though, thankfully, I actually decided to censor it for you out of respect to Noah. And it was when they were a minor at that, too, so add an extra layer of gross to this pile. Reminder, people, Carno is the innocent party here, even when it comes to legality, too, according to him. Honestly, Carno, why did you think it was a good idea to weaponize such sensitive and personal information like their face? You really come off as a performative asshole here, Carno. There are personal boundaries that should never be crossed unless you have either a great point to make or have personal permission, and since you have neither, the actual motivation becomes a lot clearer. This is a scare tactic so that Noah can run away from you and to threaten your critics. The tone beforehand certainly adds to this as well. You know, with Carno playing as Jigsaw yet again. Honestly, Carno, fuck you for this shit. You deserve all the hate you get. I know this seems a bit emotionally charged, but with every single wicked tactic Carno uses to get an edge over Noah, it really does paint him as someone who would love to do more fetish roleplays with minors. But okay, let's sweep this under the rug for a little bit. Even if you ignore the whole face reveal thing, this point has an extremely massive hole to it. When was this posted? Seriously, if this is, once again, old dirt dug out for everyone to see, that would not make this worthy of anything. Especially since, once again, Noah takes accountability, and is actually sorry for all the mistakes they did. Really though, seeing as Carl just posted this out of the blue with no context, I think it's basically confirmed that he's doing this shit because he's desperate for brownie points. Overall, this really wasn't worth it, Carno. Good job burning away any goodwill you've had to outsiders. Though I think even a lot of the more forgiving insiders would completely hate you for this shit.
Not only that, he told me that Noah's dad, her actual dad, called him the hard R N-word as a troll. Like, Jesus Christ!
Her dad did call me the N-word, if I remember though.
Like her actual dad?
Yeah. He said a lot of racist stuff to me as a troll. Like, bro, you're 70-something years old, you finna die in like 5 years from now on.
So, this is Noah's dad. His behavior does not reflect the actual behaviors of Noah at all. The two are independent human beings with their own thoughts and opinions. It could be considered rather unfortunate, but I don't get what complaining about it would really do. Also, racism in Portugal has a long history filled with racial prejudice that has spanned generations, and that's why Noah's dad is like that. This isn't particularly special and shocking, it just goes to show that you did zero research on what Portugal is like. I'm not defending Noah's dad at all, but come on Carno, trying to pin a messy part of Portugal's culture on Noah like they are complicit is deeply disingenuous to the core.
The third bit of allegation is multiple of them. Let's talk over the first one. Noah allegedly abused her sisters. But I'm not going to say allegedly at this point, but considering this is actually now true and confirmed by her ex. Okay, I'm taking off my glasses for this and putting it back on because Jesus Christ, why? Why? Jesus Christ. I know I really hope this isn't true, but considering this is now confirmed to be true by her ex and other people in the voice call, oh my god, I'm speechless.
Okay, so not only has Carl destroyed the entire point of this section, which is for unproven allegations, may I remind you, he uses the same ex from a few sections ago as a source once again. This one probably being the most ridiculous thing of them all. This is because none of Noah's other behavior has indicated that they've done such thing to their sisters. Slapping them silly, and especially the whole dating nonsense, are rather out of character for Noah, given their more thoughtful nature. Really, I don't trust Noah's ex at all, since like the rest of Carno's crew, he seems to be doing all of this garbage out of spite from Noah rightfully calling him out. Especially given how these stories require suspending your disbelief so much for them to make any sense. Honestly, Carno, you need to have a way better filter for the people you choose. Noah's ex does not seem trustworthy at all, and I know everything he is saying is complete and utter bullshit. And I know the only reason you trust him as much as you do is because you share a common enemy. Just purely pathetic.
There's also an allegation that she was claiming that Beatrice was AOA's, and she was also making a lot of anti-Semitism remarks towards Alan.
Wait, she called you a Yeah, I'm using that slur as an example.
Yeah, comparing him to a Nazi out of all things.
Did Noah criticize Israel or something? We have no idea what Noah even said. You would think with Carno branding himself as an edgelord and saying naughty words like retard all the time, that he would show the word uncensored. But I guess that's our great leader Carno being extra careful and considerate around Jews. But seriously, I don't get what happened with Noah and the Jews. The things you are digging up are essentially fossilized mammoth dung, worthless to basically everyone. Also, what the hell is up with the whole Nazi thing? I would be interested to see how Carno describes the whole Nazi thing. It would actually provide some much needed context. But I guess that ruins Carno's squeaky clean image, so I guess we're never ever gonna see that.
Alright. Okay. Can someone tell me what's up with this woman? Like, the fact that she's getting a pass is just making me want to bang my head to the goddamn wall.
Noah gets passes all the time because all of your claims end up being nonsense that no one can parse through, which ultimately means they crumble down and mean absolutely nothing. There's also the fact that you show clear biases on the Noah situation. Oh yeah, and you have grooming accusations on Noah that you always conveniently sweep under the rug. And you wonder why Noah is a more well-liked figure compared to you.
I remember when I wanted to tell him talking to the group chat in a calm way, but at the time Megan forced me to ban people she didn't like, including Joseph for making jokes on the Vietnam War. Alright, I'm gonna say this right now. Making dog jokes on the Vietnam War or anything, I personally find it funny. Yep, I say like, you can now like sick dog twisted jokes. That's 100% fine. Go ahead and find new stuff, funny. I like offensive and really messed up jokes. But there are jokes I don't find funny, and if I do, just go away. Problem solved. Not just blame call them racist or whatever. I'm gonna say this right now. If you're listening to this, here's what I'm gonna say. People are gonna make jokes, or whatever the hell you want to make jokes about. You're not gonna like it. You have to accept it, or leave it. I have a very dark twisted sense of humor. If you don't like my type of humor, hey, guess what? That's fine. That's 100% fine. Just go away, but do not attack people for jokes.
Hey, guess who's posturing about being edgy and tryhard alongside bragging about how edgy their humor is, all while ironically enough being a pussy who gets bullied by extremely feminine teenage girls? That's right, it's Carno. So yeah, Carno is playing bat for Leany here by talking about how he was just making jokes about Vietnam, which not only ignores how clingy Leany is, alongside his argumentative nature, but also conveniently glosses over what those jokes were. Which, for a refresher, was Leany wanting Vietnamese people dead and wanting to kill them in a fantasy where Leany was a Vietnam War soldier, which he claims is his past life. Yeah, I don't think that is easy to ignore, and if Carno wanted to make his server peaceful and not fall into anarchy, he would have either banned Mekon and Ringo, or Leany, but Carno did the secret third option and did nothing, which ultimately got his server deleted since it got that bad. So yeah, want to explain that with edgy humor, Carno?
So I had to re-record this because I've got some more information. So Noah's BFF, Mekon, allegedly spammed real, highly illegal material towards Alan. Were real and drawn. Now, during the voice call I was in, I asked Jacob that question, saying if it was true. He said it was true, like confirmed to be true.
Okay, Mekon has been known to be a brat who spams shady stuff to people, and while we only have a testimony and no screenshot proof, given the material described, I don't think sharing it on YouTube is a good idea, even if it was censored. So, at least Carno made one good point. Well, almost. There is a bit of a big issue with this. What does this shit have to do with Noah? Now, I admit they were close mutuals at one point, but Noah doesn't really seem to be involved in this at all. And if this somehow involved Noah, then we should really be getting some context for Noah's involvement here. And if this was so important to you, it should have been put in a more relevant section. I'm just saying. Really, at worst, the only blade on Noah this has is that Noah really needs to cut ties with Mekon. Honestly though, I think it's just a purely bad idea to drag more of your critics into this in general, since it dilutes your point even more than it already has. That was the mistake that ultimately killed the Defending Myself video, and it really hasn't improved much at all here.
And now going into hypocritical stuff. You see men that she listens to these bands, but a Chemical Corpse song, that's a big old no-no. Cry me a river, welcome to death metal, go back to Miku and Sleep Token. But we, on the other hand, it's not about brutality. Well, most bands are, but I like mine brutal. But is it that hard to look at the lyrics and the lyrical theme saying, oh, here's a horror stuff. But nope, the poor way. People are idiots!
So we are really just repeating the whole metal elitist tangent once more. Your taste isn't special, Carno. You are once again missing the point that Noah is making about the drawing you made based on the song being psychotic, not the song itself. Also, this shit is confirmed by your odd definition. Why is it here? Oh, speaking of which, we just ended the last section and are on the conclusion. Huh? Hey, you wanna know my thoughts on the whole chapter format this video uses? You really wanna know? Well, it's like having diarrhea all over the floor. It's just that messy. The chapter titles are extremely inconsistent, none of the chapters meant anything as there's literally no through line to any of them, and shit gets constantly brought up in multiple sections. The Sav stuff? Ironically, despite Carno's chapter format being a response to Brackett's complaint of a confusing structure, I think the Noah rant structure is considerably worse than the Defending Myself video. At least Defending Myself managed to keep every user talked about in their own section, and has a through line building up to Noah. Here, Carno regurgitates random info all over the place and expects viewers to pick up the pieces, which especially puts outsiders at a disadvantage, as they cannot figure out why Noah is supposed to be so bad. There ain't no history, there ain't no build-up, all this is regurgitated slop. Well, at least we're at the conclusion now. Let's just hope things don't end off with a wet fart.
Alright, the conclusion. I never get this physically mad, but this is legit one of the few times where I actually get mad. The amount of people who are defending her is seen as a poor woman with a little drama. When in reality, she has harmed many people. Myself, Joseph, Alan, her ex, Ryan, Jones, and many more.
You wonder why Noah has gained a fan base so big, yet you've remained stagnant. Do you want me to let you in on Noah's secret? They are able to think rationally and are able to talk in a calm manner about the situation. You, on the other hand, continue to have rage-induced outbursts and try to excuse everything you did, even when it's obvious you're in the wrong. You all deserve to be hurt by Noah due to everyone's irrational and scummy behavior. It's just like playing with sharp objects like knives. If you act extremely careless, of course you'll get hurt. It's particularly funny with you, Carno, since you groomed Noah. And despite Carno claiming fault for this, the first thing he does after getting caught was to rant on Noah in an attempt to nullify grooming, and ultimately try to sweep it all under the rug. But as we all know, the more you try to bury something, the more people want to uncover it. And Carno, you have perfectly exemplified this with every rant you do on your critics. You never grew up, Carno.
There could be more people. The fact that Sav is actively defending her is legit making me wanna get so furious. I don't know how to fucking describe it. I'll say this again, and I don't know if I'm gonna say it again, but who knows? Sav, if you're watching this, pass this to Noah. Or Noah, if you're somehow watching this, you're gonna actively explain it publicly. You're gonna try pulling goddamn Clint Bollinger, I'm going to lose my sanity. And if Sav tries to excuse you, I'm gonna be goddamn brutal to the point I'm gonna have the urge to snap. Anyone trying to defend Noah will either be blocked, removed, or mocked.
My god, the video damage hype is so extreme now that Carno's about to go into a rage fit. You wonder why Sav coddles Noah so hardly when you act so psychotic towards them. Look, I'll admit that Sav goes way too far with the coddling, but these psycho threats give her more reason to shield Noah. And this should have been super obvious by now. Also, nice of you to silence any critics of this video by threatening to delete their comments. You are so desperate for a response, yet you only want responses that you want from them. Likely a video of them bowing down to you like a god or something like that, knowing your nature in this video. So yeah, no one's gonna take this video seriously, Carno, and you continue to make my day with the sheer hilarity of what you make.
To anyone who was on my Noah, I want to say this. I want to say I'm so sorry what you've been through, and you have nothing from my condolences. As a victim of her, it hurts seeing your ex-friend do this. To this day, I still blame myself for introducing some my friends to her. To this day, it still haunts me.
Carno, you must have some really large testiculars and a massive ego problem to think you are a victim of Noah. Yeah, you, the one who initiated the fetish roleplay, is the victim. Same goes for the rest of your crew too. Y'all claim that you guys understand what you did was wrong, and then immediately afterwards say some of the most unsympathetic, borderline sociopathic things to Noah. Everyone can see through your shit, Carno. Don't try hiding it. Even if this conflict completely frustrates you, this is the complete wrong way of handling it.
The people who still support him, I want to say shame on you. You're listening to a serial liar and an actual groomer. If you refuse to listen to Noah's victims, what they've been through, I'm generally gonna think you guys are actually that dumb. Like, it's not even funny.
Yes, we are the dumb ones for not believing your totally not biased and spiteful rant. Look, Carno, do you really think that insulting your critics is gonna get you anywhere? I know your entire momentum with growth is gone, but this mask-off bullshit only shows that people supporting you are the dumb ones for not seeing through the fact that this is an obvious grift in order to get revenge.
So do me in the world the favor, Noah. You need to pack your bags and leave. You're responsible? You're evil? And you lie about everything. I'm sorry I nearly got this emotional, but all the lies that Noah did, all the harm she did, being straight up the same thing that she slandered me on.
Man, Carno is one of the projectors I've ever seen. Everything he says to Noah is just an issue Carno himself has. It's almost like Carno cannot self-reflect at all. No matter what Carno is projecting, however, I'm in the front row, ready to watch Carno do all his manipulation tactics.
It's just heartbreaking. It makes me want to rage. She legit wanted to dox me. Like, straight up know where I actually live. Not like state, not like country, straight up my house. I thankfully moved, which is good, but still, if that's not a way to break into someone's personal life, I don't know what makes you think that's actually the best thing to do to someone who's been falsely accused of very serious things. I'm sorry for, like, getting upset and emotional. It's just, it hurts seeing what your ex-friends do this. No one expected this will happen. I didn't expect this will happen. It hurts. Like, it generally hurts.
I think you would be less hurt if you just let go of this imaginary boogeyman. I think you might have actually gaslit yourself into thinking Noah is after you. Like, genuinely. Really, as this video has gone on, Carno has gotten extremely delusional over what Noah actually did and what her actions are actually like. The lines of reasoning here give me major Go Anime vibes with how flat and baseless they are. Knowing how similar the daycare DeviantArt community Carno was in to the Go user crowd, it fits like a glove.
Alright, but it's time for me to be honest for once. I want to say this. I'm 100% so sorry for all my actions I did back then. Me being irresponsible, a douchebag to people, being an egotistical asshole, being degenerate and cringe when I was under 18. I am going to take 100% full responsibility for my actions. And I'm going to acknowledge all my screw-ups I did and be a better man.
Ah yes, apologize for being a deg, as the subtitles put it. Whatever that means. Okay, but let me be serious here. This apology is pretty bullshit in my opinion. I mean, you were being extremely irresponsible when it comes to handling Noah, especially when you talked about how you wanted to sue them for defamation, despite you also claiming random baseless accusations to be true, which would make you the one that would be liable for defamation. You were also being a massive douchebag to Noah by not being fair to her side of the story at all. The element that you still represent the most, though, has to be the egotistical asshole part. I mean, your ego must be the size of Jupiter if you think anyone against your tyrannical narrative is some bad person. That, alongside also thinking that you are a victim in the whole Noah situation. Really, all this apology does is make you look deeply performative in an attempt to shield your ass from criticism. Thankfully, almost every outsider managed to sniff out Carno's BS, so he isn't getting away with this. Mostly due to how blatant Carno makes it, but alas. Also, yes Carno, you are still cringe. Go enjoy the Cringe Humiliation Festival. I think you would fit perfectly with those type of people.
Bracket, I do want to apologize for you dragging to my BS by mentioning you in my video. Blocky, I wanted to apologize to you. I did apologize for him in the screenshot, and I'm not looking for forgiveness. I'm just being honest. I know people don't like me because of my attitude, and I gotta accept it.
Okay, I'll admit that this is the most emotionally sincere apology, even if I know deep down this is performative for brownie points. I will admit that he hasn't repeated the same mistake of trying to get people back in this video, but there is one snag I do have with this part, and it involves two people I feel you should really apologize to in particular. The first is Box, due to you carelessly mentioning him as some sort of victim to validate your case, even when the situation with him was old news, not worthy of being brought up. What this ultimately resulted in was Sav A-logging Box and mindlessly hating on him, while also rejuvenating Blocky's A-logging, alongside him A-logging Josh. This mess is worthy of an apology alone. The second person is Bree, who you continually stalked for years, trying to get their attention via any means necessary, all while not realizing that Bree feels uncomfortable around you because of the 233 end. I think everyone explained this to you, but we would still like to confirm if you really do understand by apologizing to her via video. Yeah, I don't have much else to say. You seriously need to extend your apologies more. Honestly, you did way more damage than what is shown here.
To everyone who I harmed, my douchey attitude, my legitimate past, me being an egotistical asshole, douchebag, and rushing people, I will say this. I am so sorry. I know that people will really forgive me. I'm not looking for forgiveness. I'm just acknowledging my screw-ups. I'll take 100% full accountability for all my major screw-ups. It's just awful.
Press X to doubt.
I was suggest one of the biggest douchebags and biggest egomaniacs. It shows I have hurt a lot of people for me being a douchebag and an asshole. And it kind of came back bit me in the ass.
And you still do. It's one thing to reflect on past actions, even if it takes others to see what was obviously wrong. But the inability to remove bias, think before you speak, and control your impulses is the reason why you hurt others. The rest are just byproducts of issues that you've had since the start. You can blab on about accountability and apologizing for mistakes, but you have to prove yourself at present in order for those things to mean anything. Which it doesn't at this moment because you haven't dug deep enough to figure out your greater personality defects.
I'm sorry for the way I acted. It just hurts. I just don't even know what to say. I'll be the better man and take accountability.
Talking about accountability is one thing, but actions speak louder than words, and really, your actions contradict whatever this apology was meant to be, just from this no rant.
People should also learn to take accountability as well for their actions as well. And I gotta say, change is a perfect way to learn. What I do appreciate is people learning from their mistakes and not having grudges. I don't mean I do not appreciate people lying about stuff for the obvious reasons, because it can lead to actual harm or ruin people's reputations.
I wonder if Carno sees the obvious irony of stating this after slandering Noah with fictitious claims that cannot be proven. Guess I'll never know.
Anyone who lies deserves to get called out for really good reasons. And considering the fact that Noah has gone away with this for so long since 2023, is beyond disgusting. I am trying my best to control my anger, but I am legit on the verge of snap because she keeps going on! She's not sorry for what she did. She wasn't. She was sorry she got caught.
Oh hey look! Carno's claim of Noah being some remorseless evildoer is crashing down like the Hindenburg, alongside basically all the points he ranted about with Noah. Seriously, this whole rant feels way more like a vanity project given that Noah apologized for literally everything here. It also shows that you are the aggressor when it comes to the whole drama, Carno. Also, that claim of Noah apologizing because they got caught is really funny, seeing as Noah provided a way more detailed apology for their mistakes than you ever did. Really though, it's Carno projecting once again, because he is desperate for any reason to slander Noah to protect his ass from the grooming allegations. Because really, he has nothing left, and it's increasingly obvious too. I would tell Carno to quit while he is ahead, but he knows he's behind, so he'll only sink further.
That's enough! You either address this now on your YouTube channel, or the other option is to run away and have Sam defend you for all the stuff you did. Right now we have two options. Either make a video addressing this, or leave the internet.
You already got your apology, Carno. Noah isn't required to make this a public spectacle like you want it to be. Begging for a response only pushes her away. You know, outside of how much of a train wreck this is to respond to.
And Saf, I know you're watching this, just please listen to what we're actually saying. This is us being legit. And of all the stuff Noah did, it's probably like hands down some of the worst thing I've ever seen someone actually do. Don't try to pull this out of the blue. We had every right to invalidate her because she is a freaking groomer. Look at what she did. Does this look like normal behavior wanting an actual young kid under 10 to try to hit up a actual high schooler? Does that sound good? Oh yeah, the answer is no. Don't put any excuses. Cut her off. Now.
So you once have to cut off Noah because of the Leanie thing, which she had some right to do due to Leanie's bad behavior, and even apologize for all the wrong parts of it. Meanwhile, Carno's side has an unprovable claim made by some schmuck that you, Carno, only believe in because you are so desperate to be seen as innocent and morally righteous. Yeah, you wonder why Sav clowns on you and your defenders like it's the circus. You make every bias of yours super obvious to point out, almost comedically so. The self-destruction of your own image is one based around being a performative asshole disguised as being a moral savior, and it's funny to see you fail so spectacularly.
I am currently recording this at like 12 a.m. But a while back, when me and someone were looking through Noah's Roblox stuff, we managed to find one little thing. We went on her outfit lord on a catalog avatar creator, and you know what we found? We found her putting a avatar called Age Play. Age Play. Obviously, I'm not gonna explain what that is because I don't want to get nauseous because it's gross. But the fact that Noah made this on Roblox, a platform made for kids. Jesus Christ.
From what I have heard, this is a parody character Noah made to criticize the whole age play fetish. I am not a Roblox player, so there may be something I'm missing, but I don't think anyone would make a name so obvious as that if it wasn't a parody. I also don't get why a minor would unironically age play. She doesn't have that level of autism, nor does she need to cope with adult issues since she was a minor during this entire video's production. So, once again, Carno is doing his good old taking baseless rumors as fact thing. What makes this even funnier, however, is that Carno is so confident of this Roblox thing that he spends an entire minute showing off this Roblox avatar. Which, I'm obviously skipping for everyone's sanity. Really, this is the most obvious padding in the world, and Carno could have really cut down on this segment and actually made the video flow properly, but I guess we needed to spook Noah on their 18th birthday, so who cares about the video's production?
Also, Noah, let me say this right now. Hatsune Miku sucks, your music sucks, Cannibal Corpse Souls because they make good music, no div, stay mad, cry me a river, mic drop. There, I'm done. You happy now?
Ah yes, a virtual pop idol who sings about her issues is comparable to a rock and metal band who talks about gore and death. Totally comparable. It's totally not curbing off your dislike for Noah and others who do not match your elitist taste. I don't think we should tell Carno about baby metal, or else he'll blow a casket. Because woman.
Before I go, I'm gonna say this right now. Dear Noah, out of all these people I have covered since I did my old Demon Out ranting days before I left due to lack of interest and I wanted to pursue other stuff, you are hands down the most difficult and the most rage-inducing person I had to cover.
Gee, I wonder why. It's almost like you did this rant for performative reasons. Also, wait a moment, let's look at that thumbnail again. The text with the glow around it. Is that just ripping off Bracket's thumbnail for your video? Holy shit, it is! I only now just noticed when scripting this shit, man. The only difference is that Carno's thumbnail looks like ass, since the text and glow are of similar colors, making them blend in, and there's only one text box, which misses the point of the format. Damn, imagine ripping off Bracket this much. I guess if I don't count...
The amount of harm you've done to me and other people is irreplaceable, irreparable as well. You single-handedly destroyed my trust in anyone. You have nearly taken my life, along with 2 other people.
Oh, boo-hoo. You stopped eating for a little bit because of Noah in order to manipulate people. Yeah, this shade ain't working. Just generic weepy bait. Am I being unsympathetic to this supposedly big moment? Yeah, but there is some very important context for why I'm like this. So in the Defending Myself video that was released previously, Carno pulled the same tactic of using starvation to gain sympathy points from the Noah situation, with the exact same image too at that. That's one thing that shows how absolutely gross this is from Carno. But the true kicker here that makes me mad and very unsympathetic towards Carno is that Brackett called out Carno for this gross manipulative behavior before.
This is a real picture of what happened here.
Oh, that's an image of Carno admitting to performing self-harm used as an attempt to guilt trip us. Ugh. Fuck right off and eat my whole alien posterior.
Yet, despite that, Carno still pulls that same shit despite knowing better at this point. Carno's just doing some genuinely deplorable behavior here. Yeah, I'm sure that hospital image being spammed in every video is gonna prove that apology familiar. It 100% will. I'm putting all my stocks on that.
Here, try to excuse or justify your action as good faith and try to drag me on the bus. Me, Joseph, Alan, Ryan, and Jacob. And everyone you harmed, they did not deserve this. One bit!
Once again, press X to doubt. Is this coming off as repetitive? We're almost done. Stick it out for the long haul.
You made me vomit for 23 hours straight. To the point I had to go to the goddamn hospital because of you.
Wow, I didn't know Carno was trying to imitate Rocky from BFDI. At least Carno didn't try to imitate Bubble or Icy. Really though? 23 hours? Is that true? Let me do some research on that and... it's actually true. If you have food poisoning or some other disease. And given that Carl didn't have any of those things when he did vomit, we can officially conclude that this shit is fake as fuck.
You're a serial liar, and you try to excuse all your actions. And want to say this right now, Noah, I have one little request. Remember me saying to address this? I want you to address this before December 31st, 2024 at the end of this year. If you respond and try to justify your actions or pull the victim card, I will respond and destroy all your arguments.
Putting some arbitrary date on this is so dumb. There is no hype surrounding this drama at all. This isn't rapper beef. Is Carno trying to imagine himself as Jigsaw from Saw torturing Noah and putting her through a saw trap? Because this is what's coming off as to me. You are not Jigsaw, Carno. So stop this garble before it gets worse.
You've lied about me? Multiple times. I'm not perfect. I never was, I never will. I have screwed up a lot in my past. And I'm gonna take full responsibility for my actions, cause I screwed up a lot. That's how life is.
And yet you continue to screw the pooch on important matters. It's painfully obvious that Carno hasn't grown up at all despite the claims he's making here.
But you've lied to me about so many stuff. Serious stuff, I will add. That's life ruining. You tried to make people believe you with the most garbage proof ever. You have until the end of this year to respond. Do not lie and do not run. Ever. From Carno.
Yeah, as if you want anything from Noah outside of being a bootlicker for you, Carno. That garbage proof was actual evidence of you grooming them, and every other screenshot shows a lot of the wrongdoings you did. You can try to make vain apologies, say actual evidence is garbage, and run away from your troubles to Instagram and Discord, but that negative stink is gonna catch up to you. And the more you try to run away from it, the faster it'll catch up. And wow, we're finally done with Carno's disastrous rant on Noah. How can I describe it? Turns out, it was complete dog shit. To say the very least, this video was fundamentally flawed from the start, and the issues go so deep, you would assume it would be like those hack job YouTuber apologies. And it sort of was, because while it did take a year to release, Carno also decided to rush the video out for Noah's 18th birthday. Even if Carno didn't rush out the video though, there are way too many flaws baked into the video to suggest anything other than cancelling it. What to comment on first? Well, let's start with the fact that the video's inherent structure is so terrible. The info provided was so scattered, and it made it so hard to find out why Carno has such a big problem with Noah. In particular, Sav is brought up way too many times, scattered across so many sections of the video. Like, seriously, a lot of that shit should have been saved for the Sav rant when that inevitably comes out. Even without the structure issues, however, the points reeked of spite and do not feel like they were made in good faith. I wonder why. All of the points require some extreme bias for Carno's crew to work out, which is a horrible way to convince people to your side, especially outsiders. I know I'm mentioning outsiders a lot in this video, but if you want to win the drama, they're the people you have to win over. The Noah grooming defense only reinforced Noah being a victim. The Beatrice and Katie stuff, while not defend Noah fully for, made leading out to be more of a creep. Noah's apology basically shut down a lot of the points this video made. And Noah's ex. Dear God, Noah's ex. He felt like the biggest slimeball in this entire rant, with so many extreme accusations that have no proof to them whatsoever. Or even some that are completely unrelated to Noah, i.e. her dad. It just comes off as even more spiteful than Carno, and it makes this rant even worse than it was before. That isn't even including the vague threats and hyping up of Noah that are the cherries on top of this whole ordeal. Also, those apologies in the video are so goddamn performative. Everything you claim to apologize for is disproven by this video alone, for very obvious reasons. All this Noah rant boiled down to was a woe is me pity party for Carno, and one that is easy to see through. You know that part in Bracket's response to defending myself where he said, if this video of yours never came out, you'd seriously be in a brighter standing? Well, that applies doubly here, given all the remaining goodwill has been evaporated, as proven by Bracket no longer giving you the benefit of the doubt. Every last bit of goodwill Carno had was a blessing that he continued to abuse time and time again until we're here right now. At this point, I would pack my bags on trying to defeat Noah, as 2 major fuck-ups in a row and making your main drama even worse after almost half a decade only shows a downward trend that will never be fixed. The only way to fix this is to miraculously fix your behavior and actually recognize Noah as a good person. But alas, it seems like that's never happening. So yeah, I hope Carno rots away, plain and simple. He seriously needs behavior therapy and to get off the internet until he recognizes how good Noah is. That's the only way I can see Carno getting out of this pit of hell. Because as it stands, it's looking rather bleak for Carno. But despite what it seems, it looks like Carno is still active on the internet, mostly on Discord, Instagram, and Reddit. Yeah, of course Carno's a Redditor. He has that Redditor thing down packed. But there's one discrepancy that you may have noticed. Despite Carno's most recent video being the Noah rant, it's not his channel. And you might wonder why, but if we look at the community tab, the answer lies as the first post. Let's read it.
So Noah is actively trying to silence me. Dead Corpse Chan has sent a privacy complaint to me, and Elect L Dead is actively denying all of Noah's actions to Joseph. To Joseph. This is saying this right now. Elect L Dead, you are reading this? You need to talk to me on Discord now. I have all the info on Noah, and the last thing I want you to deny what Joseph's been through. I have all the info, and you're sending your goons to dislike bomb my video and removing comments who were Noah's victims is proving my point.
Damn, that's a yap session and a half. Can't say I'm surprised from such a loudmouth. Now then, how are Carno's claims of censorship, or silent as he calls it? Well, Carno's ripping off someone else's drama once more, like the leech he is, and it involves someone who is a part of Sav's fanbase, well, at least mooching off of Sav for their own personal gain, and has done a solid amount of censorship in order to bolster their own videos. That's right, I'm talking about Guacamole and Glassglow, who decided in their crusade to A-log Josh to censor his call-out video on both of them, in which I'm sympathetic to Josh since he was forced to put the video on BitChute. So then, what makes Josh's situation valid, but not Carno's? To say the very least, there is some massive key differences in the situations themselves and how both acted, which make me feel so different on both situations. For one thing, Will deserved to get his face revealed, since he was claiming that Josh doxed his face. Some real Fox News, PlayStation Portable, sex box, hacker known as 4chan type thinking. So Josh had to prove where the fact actually came from, Will's Patreon, which proved Josh right. Will and Gwonkin threw temper tantrums like babies about this, but it was a purely fuck around find out type thing. And it was not underhanded either, unlike Gwonk and Will, who have abused way more sensitive information than Josh ever had. By comparison, Carl just shadow dropped Noah's face in a section about how they were saying slurs, with no context at that, making Carno way less justified. The tone in the regards to censorship also shifts the viewpoint a lot too. Josh, after calmly telling his audience what happened, was reasonably upset, but he did two things. The first was blurring out the face to avoid any more privacy complaints, which, despite that and being uploaded to archive.org, was taken down. Thanks, Glassman, for banning my archive.org account, and also putting a copyright claim on the fucking Collapse collection, which you do not own the copyright to Collapse, by the way. And the second was uploading it to other video sites like archive.org in the video's final home, BitChute, where we see some wholesome comments too, only proving Josh right more so. Carno, by comparison, whined like a little bitch in the community tab, throwing censorship claims over a valid privacy complaint, and proceeded to beg Sav to talk to him on Discord. No! Which is an extremely childish way of handling things. I mean, you could have avoided making such an embarrassment out of yourself by just censoring the face, and if you are so certain they're gonna take it down, put it on some other video sites, not even just archive.org or BitChute. There's also sites like Odyssey, Rumble, and Weavidly. Playing victim like this when you have no evidence of other copyright trolling and having many options to get around it is so sad, and trying to force a resolution to this is so corny, especially when you do not deserve any resolution to this drama. At least until you improve, which, seeing as you're incapable of doing that at the moment, yeah, you're stuck in drama hell for life. You know, after covering Carno's latest disaster piece, it truly makes me realize how pathetic the CarnoProductions project is right now. You have shitty OCs whose only notable project is a vanity project about users Carno hates, rants that have deteriorated quality to the point where only Carno sicko fans enjoy them, and artwork that still has the same anatomy issues even after a decade of making art. It truly tells me one thing in particular. Carno's just destined to be stagnant as a person. There's just no other way around it. If you had any doubt about how bad Carno's rot is, the Noah rant makes Carno's current state clear as it possibly can be. You know, I always thought of Carno as the worst spiritual successor to Box, but as I've seen more masculine and edgier people over the years, my opinion on Carno has degraded so sharply, it's unreal. Only rivaling Trollsome in terms of how jaw-droppingly baffled I am with their choices. And just like Trollsome, Carno is just destined to double down on their worst aspects until the end of time. So yeah, good riddance, Carno. Go continue to A-log Noah, Sav, and her fanbase, because the spiral you're going down will be a long run. Brace yourself. Oh yeah, and when you inevitably make that next rant, don't do that whole suck-up tactic again. That's exactly what you did after the first Box video released. First by trying to make fan art, which, yeah, it looked bad, but hey, that's something a little innocent. And then you just bolted me onto 233 End lore before I inevitably told you to stop that. Which, that's really weird. And then you did the whole sad Spacey shit. You thought it'd be so funny to take one of my art pieces and make it a heckin' meme, bruh. But in reality it turned out to be a really creepy gesture. It's not exactly Brie levels of that, dear God. But doing the whole ironic worshipping thing about me came off as really parasocial. This wasn't the first big red flag I had. God, the 233 End was already a flag. But it had a special ick to it that something like the 233 End didn't quite have. And the fact that I was just randomly bolted onto this group chat which contained Wubsy Fan, one of the people Box ranted on, only further tells me that this was an attempt to pander to me. Of course, I still did stuff like the interview because, hey, maybe it was just a mistake, maybe it was a one-time thing. Plus, I just really wanted to pick your brain and see what the hell you were thinking when doing shit like the 233 End. That didn't really succeed, but hey, it was worth an attempt. but I was slowly but surely starting to come to the realization that you were a lost cause. The first big blow was the defending myself video, and the second in a 1-2 punch of you being irredeemable is the Noah rant. I genuinely never thought I would see you hit this low of all things. My expectations for you were low, but holy fuck. Yeah, I don't think I'm ever gonna contact you again. You failed to reconcile with both the sad fanbase and Bracket, so I'm not gonna be any extra help here. That doesn't mean the doors are 100% closed, just 95% closed. If anyone in the Carno fanbase decides to leave after watching this commentary, or even were planning to leave beforehand, then hey, we could potentially talk things out. But Carno himself and his loyal lackeys, I don't feel like dealing with them. So yeah, TLDR, Carno, you really fuck things up. P.S. Gwonkin's fan art imitating your style somehow looks more dynamic than your art of me. I think that says a lot about your art quality. End of last message. Now, that concludes my opinion on Carno. Not gonna lie, Carno's gonna be the only box adjacent person I'm gonna be making videos on from now on, since he does have one particularly interesting aspect that I think would be fun to cover someday. And who knows, Carno could outdo himself once more. I mean, he's done that once before. Compare Carno to the rest, and they have mostly remained the same. Box is still a solid YouTuber, though I respect him wanting to quit his series. God knows at this point it's a mess. Kathy and Josh still have awesome behavior. Mikon and her butt buddies are still A-logs. And everyone not involved with Carno to some degree are doing well, except for Ernix. What of it? But yeah, not only did this serve as a nice transition from the box community to covering Carno, but also served as a nice return to critiques. And somehow, this view became super large. I guess that's what I get for covering such a massive disaster piece. I don't think I could make something more ambitious even if I tried, but I think I should wrap it up now so that this doesn't go overboard. My big hope is that next critique doesn't have a year-long gap. So yeah, otherwise, until next time, I'll see y'all later. Bye!
Here lies CarnoProductions. He's died from dysentery. And press the spacebar to continue. Yeah.